And now, live from the Man Cave, Studio B, deep in the heart of constitutional Livingston County, Michigan, on a Tuesday night update and explanation rant with your co-hosts, Kelli Uphaus, and she's on time, folks, Mr. Coffee, Patrick Acton, with special guests from the Heartland School Board, Michelle Blondeel. Yours truly, Larry Parsons, our ever-present earwig, the real Tim Allen behind the scenes. This is My Brain. And now your host, Mr. Jeremy Scott Gibbs. No ears were damaged in this announcement. Cat ears, I mean.
No cat ears were damaged. All right, we're coming up live. There we go. Everybody's up. Turn that real mic off. There we go.
Yep. Microphones are hot.
Microphones are hot.
Coming into the table.
Welcome, everybody. What do we got? Yeah. We got chat blowing up over there. Postberg's messing with us. A whole bunch of people messing with us. Why does Mike
What was that crawl I had on?
If I turned my freaking microphone on.
What was that crawl I had on during the entire open? There was some strange crawl.
Was it a crawl?
Yeah, I think during the open crawl I had.
It was amazing, Captain. Amazing. You guys ever see Mystery Men?
Amazing.
That was a great movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Jeffrey Rush and Ben Stiller, William H. Macy. Awesome movie.
Postberg is on a freaking roll right now.
Just getting hardcore over there.
He's all over.
All right. Anything that we need to comment on, or we're good? We just get started. All right, let's do this. So we got the attendance taken care of. Recap for dinner. We got a default coffee now. Coffee rating.
You're not going to like this. But listen.
I can't even look at you.
4.8, and the reason is
4.8.
The reason why I went for a 4.948 is I'm not a carrot person. If it would have been sweet carrot, it's all on me. I don't like carrots. I thought they were going to be sweet, like caramely, sugary carrots.
Would it have been better if they showed up last minute smoking some?
No, I should have. I'm taking it on me. It was a 4.8, which is a good rating, but it was just because of me. I should have just taken a bite of carrots and said, no. And then the rest would have taken a fork. So it was me, but the chicken was, where's the guy? He's gone.
John's off screen over there.
John, good chicken, man. And of course, Patrick's signature salad and the other stuff.
And we had some panini mastichoke.
It's on me. It was great.
That was actually from Saturday, and it heated up very nice.
Larry Rowe has to move stage right. I think that was fine.
Are they critiquing the set? Come on. Hey, you guys want to help set up this? You start volunteering to come into the studio.
Listen, it is Tim's job to irritate the hosts, not the audiences.
Tim's thankful that Papa's on you. He says your elbow's missing.
So what I did, John cooked.
John, see my elbow? There it is.
John raised he got 100. Four didn't make it. And I helped him. We loaded him up early morning and drove him over to the processing. That was about 2 weeks ago. And so he gave me a number of them to try out. And I did them rotisserie on the grill today. Turned out phenomenal. Patrick, thoughts on that?
Rotisserie is awesome.
Dude. Larry, anything?
Oh, that was incredible. The chicken was awesome. Yes, that was incredible. The carrots were good.
Oh, see, he didn't say awesome. He said good.
Yes.
Why are you trying to down my carrots?
No, your carrots were good for carrot people.
I'm not a carrot person. Larry's not a carrot person. And the first time
carrots are good.
See?
No, they were good.
That's what I want to hear.
Carrots are nasty.
Carrots are not nasty.
They're just
disgusting.
They were
Are
really
yummy.
sweet.
They're almost
They were
as
very
bad as
sweet.
I
asparagus.
love jewel carrot.
They're just rooted in dirt.
You got
Too tough.
the wrong one, man.
I did.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't know how that works because I
the ones I had were like,
I have to make the sauce
I think you guys know
and simmer it down and get it all taken care of,
Stirred it
and then
around. You didn't stir it around.
later
Yeah.
put it on the carrots and then reduce it down, do a nice reduction on it.
You know who's a really good cook?
Who?
Her.
I know. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
She's like, we're gonna do some charcuterie boards and stuff
She
like that.
does very nice
Yeah.
ones.
Are you on buzzing?
It's me. It's probably my butt.
No. Are you on buzzing? Somebody's asking.
Are we on buzzing?
Buzzing. Some guy's
No.
asking.
I don't know if we're
Good
What
getting.
is
Shabber.
buzzing? Is that a new
I used to
platform?
be on buzzing.
That's
I
what
can't keep
happens
up with the
after.
platforms.
That's what happens after you smoke a joint.
You're buzzing.
You buzz?
You're buzzing. All right, let's.
Buzzing.
So dinner was good.
Is the
Michelle
buzz
even
still
had some,
going?
even though she was like, I just want to taste some.
I did.
Looks
I wanted
good.
to try it because I wanted to see because my inspiration comes from other people. And the chicken was really, really good. It was all very clean. Like that's what I liked about it. It was all very clean food. I didn't do the masticholi because I thought it would throw it off a little bit, but like I like getting done with the meal and not having it overpowering my taste buds afterwards.
Yeah.
And it was perfect. You basted it perfect. The chickens were amazing.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Now there's a piece of the equation we haven't even tasted yet. Hasn't come across our palate.
Oh.
And that's this pie that's been.
Oh, the
lingering.
pie.
There's
We may
pie.
have to do that right before break. That maybe have to happen there.
Oh, next week though. Is
Yeah.
Schwenkrotten.
Oh, nice.
I'm bringing Schwenkrotten.
Schwenkbraten.
Never
What's
even
a
heard of that. What is it?
Schwenkbraten?
Don't overshadow.
Schwanky brats?
Schwenkbratens are. I was in Europe for a long time. They're
Schwenk.
basically a pork chop in between a hard roll, and I'm going to have the bakery make the brochins, which are football shaped, like this big football shape. And pork chop has been marinating probably a week.
Yeah.
Basically pork.
A
loin.
week? You know
Oh,
what's really good pork chop wise? Smoked pork chops.
There's a lot. You know what?
Melt in your mouth. Smoked.
For Sunday, I did a pork loin on the smoker for
Yeah.
about.
I will bring you one someday coffee and you
Awesome.
will eat
I'm not really a-
eat your head shaking.
I'm not really a smoked meat person. I'm not a smoked meat
It
person.
tenderizes.
You've had
it.
smoked
It's
meat here
not
many
smoky.
times, and you loved it.
It
and didn't know.
tenderizes it.
No, I had
It's
your corned
perfect.
beef and everything. It's
Mhm.
just
He
Mm.
smokes
not-
his meat differently. He's gay.
my meat.
Okay.
Right.
And black.
And I'm black, yes.
And black.
Larry,
There we go.
I'm
All right.
kidding.
Speaking
you're
of
allowed to
gay,
hit him, just so you know.
speaking of
I'll
being
withhold
gay,
my
and black,
moment when we
I might
start
have
talking
you pull
about
your
why I'm
pack and
here.
put it on the table
Okay.
because I'm getting a little buzz
Is it
out of that.
me?
Yeah. No, it's that pack.
It's me, not you.
It's the frequency is there. See, it's gone.
Already done.
Yeah, just leave it on the table. Thank you, dear.
Sleuth Mama says a good point. Take pictures of dinner from now on.
Oh
Good
yeah,
point.
that's a good idea.
Oh, they were beautiful too.
Uh,
I mean, amazing
wait.
looking.
How do I do it? Because I did.
Oh,
Do what?
I did take pictures of the chicken when it was on the smoker or on the grill.
Man, I'm getting
I'm gonna do that. I'll just pass it around the table and everybody
because
in the
carrots are not gross.
because everybody in the
Oh, those are pretty.
Yeah.
Good baker. I
see?
didn't say I was
Nice.
not
everybody
enjoying.
everybody in the audience can just
Yeah.
pretend that is the overhead working too?
You said not my first pick.
Probably not.
I'm a criminal.
You're a criminal.
Studebaker called me a criminal.
I don't disagree with you on the whole.
Okay. All right, let's get to the disclaimers.
Now it is.
There it is.
And it makes
And
your
it's
pee
dim
Why is it
as
so dark?
hell.
It makes your pee stink.
Oh, it's frozen.
What's that?
It needs to be shut off and turned back on.
Asparagus.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Deactivate and reactivate on OBS. That's what'll get it.
We
okay.
have very different taste buds, sir.
No, I love it.
I do too.
All right,
Yeah,
let's get to
me too.
disclaimers because we're already running behind, and we've got a schedule that
Wouldn't
nobody
have that.
cares about.
I care.
Well, all
I
right
try to
then.
be here on time.
Where are we at? Here, Tim.
Dude, I'm doing like 5 other fucking
I know you are. It's good, buddy.
We're not going to have a call in today. It's not going to happen.
It's not working.
No, it's just not going to happen.
Okay.
Okay. Disclaimer. Notice is on the wall feed, which is that button. This is my brain notice. This podcast is mostly raw and unfiltered and completely politically incorrect. We say Merry Christmas, Christ in the Mass, and the Pledge of Allegiance, especially the part about one nation under God, which was added in like the 60s or something, 54, I think. We thank our troops for their service. Thank you those who have served that are at the table and that are listening out there. We only recognize 2 genders as adults. We enjoy adult beverages.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Those are some adult beverages.
Mexico.
Mm.
We cuss like sailors. We do not curse or swear. Those are 3 different things. Look them up. We love Jesus, our Savior, but we hate religion and religious hypocrisis.
Wasn't there another word we used to use for that?
Assholes. Or
Just
religious
checking.
hypocrites.
Yeah.
If any of this
Stinker.
offends you, unless you're a glutton for punishment or a liberal that is indexing the show to lambast us on your own liberal propaganda,
Yeah. Please index the
leave.
show and send it to us.
Other than
Yeah. Here we go.
that,
You sound a little low in my ear in your channel, Tim. I was checking you.
was I even on the air?
You were on the air. Yeah.
Okay,
you-
good. I was on the
well, he can hear it, but he's always in our ear.
Okay.
Okay, I was just
All right.
checking it.
Well,
All
why
right,
am I
there we go. That
still
one's
on
out of the
that?
way. Let's rapid fire. So many mics on the table, even when I cough. And,
So many microphones. Still picks you up, yeah.
let's rapid fire this, Mr. Coffee.
Oh, shit.
Harsh.
What doesn't kill you
What is
makes
it?
you stronger,
Yeah.
except for the bears.
What are the bears?
They will fucking kill you.
Oh my goodness!
That
Such language.
is too
Such
early.
language.
Too
yeah,
early.
Dropping
One-
F-bombs on there.
No, I'm a school
I
board
can't-
member.
School board
You
members.
got to keep it clean.
Keep it clean, man. I
Yeah.
can't believe you can said that.
Oh,
Oh, he did it again.
coffee.
My virgin ears are burning.
Patrick.
I would challenge you to a battle of wits, but I can clearly see that you are unarmed.
Unarmed. And Kelly.
It is easier to fool the people than to convince them they have been fooled. Mark Twain.
Mark Twain.
Samuel Clemens.
There we go. And Michelle, as the special guest, gets the funky lettering nobody can read.
Okay, great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. Eleanor Roosevelt.
Mm-hmm.
I like that addition.
Yeah, right?
Mhm.
And Larry, not Lawrence, but Larry.
Ooh, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. Oh, there's a comma.
Is there a comma?
Yep. Next,
good note.
the next subject. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, period. That's the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution. It was issued on December 15th, 1791. And it expires when hell freezes over.
Or
Now be
never.
careful because
Or
we've
if
had
Joe
some
Biden gets
we've
reelected.
had some sub-zero temperatures in Hell, Michigan the last few years. And I just want people to be cautious in using that phraseology.
But it really never completely froze
It
over.
never froze completely over.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
See, there's a good. Patrick's giving me good clarification there. So, okay. A long habit of not thinking a thing wrong gives it a superficial appearance of being right and raises at first a formidable outcry in defense of custom. But the tumult soon subsides. Time makes more converts than reason. Thomas Paine, Common Sense, 1776. And I'm watching, as are all of you, the amount of people that are subject to that time conversion who are going, you know what? I didn't really like Trump for a long time, but now I'm voting for him. We played a clip on Sunday with the young black man who said his 66-year-old grandma who's voted Democrat all her life said,
Yep.
I'm voting for Trump.
I'm voting for Trump.
I'm voting for Trump.
See
Hell,
the
these
gal
people,
last night,
they're crazy.
that gal,
Uh,
what's her name? Whatever. She had the tattoo across her. Very attractive lady.
Oh, yeah.
Did
She
you-
was with Kanye West. What's her name?
I don't know.
Amber. Is it
Amber,
Amber?
Amber Rose or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amber Rose.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
switched over.
She switched over. There's a lot of people. Yeah.
There's a lot of people switching over.
And you
And
know
then
what?
you got to question some of them because some of them you see pictures of them at Diddy's white party, which, you
Mhm.
know, it's
You're right.
like, how do you go from that to that? So I don't know. Are they disingenuous? Not sure.
I heard a good
Remains to be
argument
seen.
from Owen Schroyer in the evening show tonight, just before we started, that he said, you know what? I understand it. He said, but he likes to point out we can't be purists, straight purists
I like to
in these
believe
environments
everybody.
and say, you know what? All of us have had had a start to our journey at some point, and
Mhm.
wherever it started, maybe we weren't in the public eye when we started that journey, but we've all had transitions and changes. And he said, what I liked about her, and he said, I'm not endorsing her, lifestyle, same thing, right? But he said, look, she's got millions of followers who she influences, who are now looking at Trump through different eyes. And he said, you can't discount that. And we can't be purists that would, try to vilify that or marginalize that. Anyways, Michelle, you need to give a disclaimer of your own personal thing before we finish up disclaimers and get into the meat.
Okay, so my disclaimer is that anything that I say is my personal opinion only. I don't represent anybody on the school board, the school at all. This is just my personal opinion, and I'm using my freedom of speech to discuss some things that I want to get out there with Larry.
And the personal.
And nothing we have to say is reflective on you.
Yeah. And then nothing they say is reflective on me. We haven't had a conversation. I don't know what they're going to say. Just
Very
know
good.
that.
And
I
we
do
don't
have
know
the
these
best
school
intentions.
board members. They might be crazy. We might have to say that the opinions of the school board
Yeah,
members might not
exactly.
reflect the opinions of this is our
Right.
brain.
Well,
I
I
may-
will say
yeah.
this: Heartland has some really good school board members. There are 3 really good ones.
Thank you.
actually.
Hopefully you included me.
Well, there's only 3 that are really good.
Well, I don't,
Present
that's,
company is
that remains to be
included.
seen. I mean,
I can't be mean to
we
my
can-
neighbor. She knows where I live.
Yeah.
I will
Oh, my
say that
goodness.
I find weakness to be a sad thing because it makes you very ineffective. And I believe that
Weakness.
you serve on a board with some very weak-minded, weak-backboned.
Let's speaking of weak, let's do
Thanks.
this. Let's finish it up. Everybody ready?
No,
Never.
Never. Tim said no. Why you
Yeah,
gonna
totally messed
Ready?
up everything.
Ready?
Never
apologize and never explain. It's a sign of weakness.
The Duke.
Are your
Move
feelings
her
hurt?
words down.
Oh,
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Baby
oh, really,
girl.
baby?
Oh, girl.
they cannot take the
There's
words.
another motion to strike her words again.
Girl,
We're
I
gonna,
don't think
we are gonna move and we're gonna take your words down.
I'm not apologizing.
Well, then
Okay,
you're
reserve
not
the right to
striking your
object.
words.
I am
You're
not
nerve-wracking.
apologizing.
Chair
Chairman.
recognizes Ms. Green.
I repeat again for the
It's
second
called
time.
theater.
Yes, I'll
All
strike
right.
my words,
That-
but I'm not apologizing.
Without objection. Without
Not
objection.
apologizing.
Chair
Reserving the right
recognize-
to
No,
object.
let's go. Come on, guys.
Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. I'm still on that screen, Tim.
I clicked it.
Yep.
So are you going to write to
There we go. Okay. So Michelle, you are here because Larry said
Butthole.
No.
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 You are there. So give us some background. We'll start this right off.
I'm
Of course,
gonna
we're gonna
cry.
listen. I'll let everybody know out there.
You
And
hurt my
let's
feelings.
do this real quick. Mr. Coffee, is there anything pertinent in chat that we need to get to, or Kelly, that you saw before we get into Michelle?
There's
what
a
Michelle-
yay MB,
Yay. MB.
which means yay, Michelle Blondeel.
Right.
Yeah.
from Gun
Yes.
723?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Oh.
who is Gun 7?
I have no
Come
idea.
on,
I don't know.
come on.
I don't know.
Oh,
What's that
whoa.
noise?
What is
What
that
happened?
noise?
Is somebody getting a call?
Hi, you have reached Larry Parsons.
Oh, Larry
Sorry, but I
Parsons'
can't get
cell
to the phone
phone?
right now. But if you leave your name and
What
Should
are
we
you
leave a
doing,
message for
Larry?
Larry?
Somebody, I think Tim
Thank you.
is messing
Have
with
a
us.
great day. God bless you.
God bless you, Larry.
The mailbox
is full and cannot accept any
Yup.
Very
That
nice.
would be
All right.
Tim.
We
messing with
we
us.
now have a call-in line.
Yes.
That I can make
Oh,
calls.
this is
Okay.
great.
Just testing that.
We may be getting a call or having a call at some point from
Wes.
one of our commissioners here in your area, in Heartland area, Wes Nakagiri, who is on the ground at the RNC in
My
Wisconsin.
commissioner, and will continue to be my commissioner.
Right.
Yes.
Because you're
I
not
see a
represented
lot
by
of West
kitties.
signs when
Yes,
I drive out
as
there.
you should.
Right.
I have
I mean,
one.
he's got,
Well, there's one. On,
Yeah.
If you go up Bullard Road,
Uh-huh.
there's a sign with cat ears on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
huh.
yeah. I will refrain from
There
commenting
are
since
people
Michelle's
that
here.
That you
I wouldn't want to
Meow.
say anything about the. Anyways. Okay. Anything else? And we're doing good in chat. Love everybody out there. Hey.
Hi, Kelly. You asked me,
I got-
and then you don't let me answer.
Hi, Studebaker.
You didn't pull your microphone. Get up there.
I apologize for my hair today.
What are you talking about? I thought it was cool.
Oh, thanks.
You look,
It's, I woke up with an afro
She was
this
mocking it
morning.
earlier.
you
She
ladies
pulled it
look
out.
gorgeous.
I hope
as
mine looks
always.
good because she just did it. I
Speaking of
did.
hair.
I said, "How does your hair? How does my hair look?"
All
And
right,
it was
Coffee. What do you got?
Nothing. That's
Nothing.
it.
Okay, good. Already gave your disclaimer. Think we're good. Michelle, let's dive into this. Do you want to talk about the statue first? Do you want to talk about?
I think so, just to because I think it's a really cool thing. So
Okay.
my husband introduced me to this and we watched a special thing on it. Is a monument to the forefathers, and nobody knows about it. It's an 81-foot tall statue, and turn around.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a replica of it, and it's the coolest thing, and it's solid granite. It was. Let's see. Let me get my. It's in Massachusetts.
Oh, right there.
But I wanted to get the facts. So it was in 1889, and it's in Plymouth, Massachusetts, in the middle of a neighborhood.
What's it called?
It's the National Monument to the Forefathers. And what's cool about this?
Actually, could you back it up in the middle of the table so it has full light on it, please?
Oh. And so I gave you guys a printout because you can look into it. And really the statement is, if you don't mind if I can read this. So it's carved out of one piece of granite. Imagine they did this in 1889, carved out of one piece of granite. It's 81 feet tall.
Wow.
It's in the name of the forefathers we dedicate this monument and ourselves. For ages, it will stand an enduring witness to grave and resolute conduct, to privilege, sacrifice, to thrift and frugality, to domestic love and unaffected piety, to rectitude in thought as well as in life, to earnest principles and true beliefs, to God and faith. Here and now, we dedicate ourselves to more fervent love for man and man, to a braver allegiance for truth, to truth for truth's sake, and in the amen, amen. So what basically this is a statue that tells us this is the key to life, a happy, healthy country.
Mm-hmm.
And this top woman, she's holding a Bible and she's pointing up. So what's the number one thing that we continue to talk about? Is we need God, and that's faith.
Yep.
And then each one of these down below, if you want to read into it, there's more to it. But like there's liberty.
I have the Wikipedia pulled up so we can cut to that if we need to.
Yeah, but one of them. So there's liberty, and this is a soldier, and he's got a weapon, so he has to fight. So you have to fight for liberty. That's what this says.
Okay.
Then you've got morality, and this is 10 Commandments. Pardon?
We usually have it. So you can see what's on the screen.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
I'm
I'm just going through. Just because I think it's such an amazing statue. So then we've got morality.
Mm-hmm.
We've got justice and youth. Sorry, am I doing something wrong?
No,
Is
you're
it?
fine.
Okay.
No, you're doing great.
And youth. The youth are what makes up our country. And what is the most important thing in here is the youth.
Okay.
So like look into it. I encourage everybody to look at the story of this. Know that this is what our country is founded on.
I'm
faith.
surprised the liberals haven't trashed it.
Well, that's why you don't know about it.
Or blow it
Now
up.
they will. But I got a question.
Yeah.
I always got a question. Is that piece where it was
Yes,
carved?
it's in the middle of a neighborhood.
No, I'm saying, did they carve the piece and then sit it up, or was it just already is it part of the ground?
Yes, it's part.
No.
So it's the.
You know
well,
what
they
I'm
wouldn't be
saying?
able to move it. It's 81-foot tall granite. Like
I know,
this is all
but-
granite.
Well,
I don't know
my
how would they
question.
move it
Is
in
like a piece of the
1889.
ground? You know what I'm saying? Like it goes
Did
down
they
into the
dig down
ground.
into it? and
That's a
create
really
it
good
that way?
question,
I don't
but
know.
I can't answer that. All I
Well,
know
then you
is
have
that
to go-
I can't imagine them moving an 81-foot piece of granite, right? Like
I don't know. They did the pyramids.
It's got in pieces.
Huh?
And the aliens did the pyramids. We know this.
Oh, we're
Aliens
off into
involved.
another thing, but
Aliens
I'm
are
wondering
always
if that
involved.
is a continuous piece under the ground. You know what
No,
I'm
it's
saying?
probably
Oh.
no. It probably stops at the ground.
Like
It's
Stonehenge.
like the Statue
Right.
of Liberty.
And they tipped it up or something. I
Yeah.
mean, they got a big block of granite and tipped it up and carved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's
Is that
fascinating.
the answer, Kelly, or am I going to be bothered by this all
It
night?
sounds like a plausible
It's plausible.
situation. Yeah. Like
Plausible.
Deniability.
that plausibly that could have happened. Yes.
Possibly.
Wait,
What an
Allentown?
amazing thing.
I know. So my awesome
Hours?
husband introduced me to this. There's a Kirk Cameron did a speaking about this at I wish he was here right now. He'd be able to tell me at the Ark.
Okay.
And he explains it in depth, and you'll never be the same after you hear about our forefathers. And
Has everybody
statue,
here
yeah.
been to the Ark?
No.
I
No?
have.
You've never been
We
to the
have.
Ark?
Really cool.
You've never been? Oh, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
you should go. So, anyways, I'm glad I could introduce you this to you. It's a replica, and my husband got it for me for my birthday because this is what's important to us.
This one is not made out of solid granite, but that thing is solid.
I know, isn't it? Yeah, and
That's
it's
a
really well
heavy duty.
made. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hoping the real one is a little bigger.
Yeah, 81 feet
81 feet. Very nice.
in the middle of a neighborhood.
How tall is the Statue of Liberty?
3 3. What the hell?
Pretty good.
Why do I got to look this up while we're doing this?
You should know these things.
Did they pull a permit? Studebaker? Probably not.
Statue of Liberty height is
281.
281. I knew it was close to 3.
No.
301 with you include the base.
I was guessing.
Or 305. I'm sorry. From ground level with the base included to the torch, but you realize the statue itself. Let me pull up the.
It's like half that.
Yeah, the statue itself is only half of the base. If you go from
Right.
ground level to the torch,
Yeah.
it's only about half. So the
Still a
pedestals,
crap ton of
pedestals
copper.
quite big. Anyways, okay.
Check that out, man.
All right, so that was my icebreaker.
Nice. That's your icebreaker.
That was a
Yeah.
nice
Now
icebreaker.
that was
Thank
that
you.
was
I
great.
thought you guys would appreciate
Thank
it.
you
I
for
really
sharing
did.
that story because that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And my husband
And I
just
wanna-
sent me.
I want to go see it.
He's just sent me the link to the website, so I'll give that to you guys so you can watch it because it really is
Can you
definitely worth.
Facebook that to me? Do you have Facebook?
No.
Send it,
But
to,
he
send
might.
it to me,
Okay.
and I'll send it
Okay.
to him. He can put it up for everybody.
Yeah. No, that was another reason why I'm here is because I'm not on social media, so I don't really have a platform to really discuss things. So I really appreciate the fact that you are giving me a platform to talk about things that I feel
Absolutely.
are important for the community because I represent Larry, and I want to talk to him about
Yeah, because Larry runs this.
And we'll see if, when you guys talk, if I can get that question.
Can you use a microphone?
Well, I was just talking to him. I wasn't talking to the crowd.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
going
it's
to see if
coming
that
across the
question that I
He
have
needs,
from
like,
somebody gets brought up by
Shoulder
you
holder
guys.
for
Mm.
it.
What?
He needs a shoulder holder that you can just stick the microphone in.
No, right?
Well,
You're
with
making me
Michelle-
nervous about this question. I really kind of want to know what this
with Michelle
question
being
is.
here, I only have the 5 lapel mics, and then
Should I just ask a question?
what?
Get out of the
Yeah,
way? 'Cause she's
wait, can
paranoid.
you get a
No, I'm
mic?
not paranoid. You're making me wonder what it is.
You
I'm
want me to
curious.
wait?
Sure, you can wait.
One person asked,
Oh.
what was the deal with the way you voted for?
Oh,
Yeah. I can talk about that, but not yet. I will
Okay.
talk about.
That was
I will
yeah.
give you a brief synopsis of
okay.
that. I don't mind at all. I don't mind at all because
All right,
I am a
so-
representative. So the main reason why I'm here is because I introduced a bathroom policy, and it was posted in last month's agenda. And Mr. Parsons here gave his opinion on it and said that it was
Oh.
stupid, or at least the last sentence was stupid.
Correct. I had
And-
an issue with the very last couple sentences.
And so
Larry
I.
having an issue with something?
No.
Hey, wait. Get a close up, Tim. I was going to give my surprise face. A close up. We don't have PTZs yet. What is that? Yeah.
I
No,
don't
we don't
have
even know
any
what- All right.
close-ups on me.
Michelle,
ever.
I know I don't either. I was
all
like,
right, so
I feel like I need to sit up more straight. Yeah.
surprise
Jeez.
face. All right. So
So
please feel free to lay into Larry as most
no,
of
I
us
don't want to
like
lay
do.
into Larry. So I want to kind of go through like what no, because that's not my goal. My goal is to help him understand where I'm coming from and where the policy is.
talk back.
Don't talk back to your mother.
So so I introduced a policy for the bathroom. Now there was a large gathering of people that came and spoke on both sides. A lot of the parents were saying that, they don't want this. They don't want, transgenders to be able to use the bathroom that they identify with, because their children are going to be in there. Very valid, right? There were also some transgenders that came and spoke and some transgenders' parents that came and spoke. So both sides came and spoke. But the thing is about this policy is that because of Title IX and because of the Elliott Larson Act,
Yeah.
I did a lot of research. I've talked to many lawyers, even my own corporate lawyers, to see what the right thing to do is because it didn't hide my views on this, but it's a contested ideology, transgenderism. I don't have any ill will or any hatred or any want to hurt anybody, but I think that basic truths are necessary for children to be able to build their lives on. If you don't have basic truths like male and female, you've already lost them, right? Because kids like structure. If there's no structure in what a basic truth would be, and for me, I cannot, I don't want to lie to children and say that. And I don't want somebody to force my opinion, because if I'm looking at a man in a dress I'm looking at a man in a dress. I'm okay with it, but you can't tell me that I need to think that that's a woman. Like I won't. I never will.
Right.
And I'm not telling somebody else that's looking at that man, however they feel. That's their opinion.
Only if the
But-
dress matches his eyes, then we're okay.
Okay. Yeah, as long as it's tastefully done. But the thing is when you have basic truths, you need to be honest, right? Honesty and truth is what we need to be right now. And my honesty is based upon a lot of my constituents, a lot of the people in our area that spoke up. So when I introduced this policy, I did a lot of research. I spoke to a lot of lawyers. I asked all of the questions because what one of my strong suits is finding loopholes, finding that string in a sweater, pulling it, right? So I can lead people and say, okay, what about this? What about this? So I came prepared to a meeting we had with a school board lawyer. And, I asked all of the questions that you would have wanted to ask. Like, is there anything we can do? What about this? One of my biggest opinions about the bathroom policy, or not opinions, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. But one of the things that we need to do is right now there's no policy in place. We need some guardrails on it because it's not necessarily transgender kids. That's one thing that we're going to talk about. It's that people are going to take advantage of this because there's creeps out there that are going to utilize this opportunity to go into a bathroom and hurt a boy or a girl. So I really felt like introducing a policy was necessary. It's the strictest policy because I did submit a policy that said absolutely not. We're going to have gender neutral bathrooms that are not introduced yet, but that's going to be the goal. So this is the strictest policy that we can implement in the time frame that we're in right now with the Biden administration giving their opinions on the Title IX and their everything that's going on. It's the strictest thing that we can do.
Larry. Right in the middle of her speech.
Not even listening.
So anyways, I must have sold them on it. So needless to say, it is why which is why I'm here, is to make sure that you understood that I did my due diligence. We are doing everything we can. We are listening to the voters. I can't, I am a minority in some of the thinkings that I have. But this is the best that I could do with the situations that are going on and in legality.
And realistically, at the end of the day, everyone needs to be taken into consideration. Everyone. Not just one subset, not just one sandbox. Everyone needs to be taken into consideration.
Yeah.
But at the crux of all of it is the safety of the students. And if there's an opportunity for someone to cause harm, that person will take that opportunity. So whatever we can do to prevent the opportunity from being there is what we need to do. And that's not a transgender thing. That's not a boys girls thing. It's not an ideology thing. It is removing the ability for someone who will take advantage of a situation from being able to take advantage of that situation.
I'm going to interject just a little bit of pushback because we're talking about 3% of the population.
I don't disagree with you.
3% of the population, it's the tail wagging the dog. And the only reason that's happening is because the Dems are in control and they want to push this evil crap right down our throats. Okay. And so everybody has to kowtow to their whims and put our children at risk. And that's a major problem. I got a problem with it. He's got a problem with it. Anybody who has a little bit of testosterone in their body has a bit of a problem with it, especially when you're dealing with your kids and grandkids. So here's a challenge. How do we deal with that?
Well,
you
as a representative, you have to take into consideration that there are people that this is their ideology. This is what they want for their children. This is what they want to support for their children. So I can't look at it like, I understand what you're saying, and I don't agree with it. I start off by saying that. And there's basic truths about this. But that doesn't mean that there's somebody that their experience and their family life and the things that they want to do include supporting transgenderism, right? Like that's what they want to do. Or else there's a child. I'm sure there's adults out there, parents out there that don't want their child to be transgender, but their child's in crisis right now and thinking that they are an opposite sex, right? They might have grown up all the time that they were a boy, and all of a sudden now this social contagion is there and he thinks he's a girl, right? Anybody would be freaked out, but there's people that would embrace it. So I have to think about all those things when I do that. And so All of that went into consideration. That's all I can say.
So
let me.
There are special classrooms for kids that are challenged.
Not anymore.
Not
Nope,
anymore.
not anymore. Yep.
They should be.
They're
Not anymore.
mainstream.
That's the problem.
That's the
I don't disagree.
Correct.
what-
So we're
what
trying to
needs
navigate a
happen-
minefield
Yes, but
and,
this is
and
What
deal
needs
with
to
it.
happen is there needs to be an uprising of speaking up
right.
of people that say enough is enough.
Yeah.
We're not doing this. And the majority is capable of it, but the majority is silent.
So what I always say is that parents make their children wear a helmet when they're riding a bike to protect their brain, but they're doing nothing to protect their minds.
That's very good.
Right? I mean, like you
I have
have to protect their
stat.
minds.
If you choose not to stand up and go and
Right.
say, hey, no, and
Yeah.
and a large group of people are capable of doing that. Look, in Brighton,
Mhm.
we didn't have masks on our students when Heartland did because the parents came out.
Yeah.
There was no sitting room.
Correct.
The parents stood up and said, you are not putting those on our children.
I was
So-
even there. Like people from other districts
Yes.
were coming to support.
And that's why all the school
Yeah.
boards changed the times to the same
And I-
time on the same night, so
Right.
parents can't do that.
And
But-
Tim's got a stat for us.
Okay, I have
real
a
quick.
stat, but I mean, I know, Pat, I appreciate your pushback. But first of all, I see all of these possible dysphorias as mental problems, or there's a lot of different scope to different kinds of mental issues.
Mhm.
And Pat, are you sure about that 3% number?
it's less than 3%. It's like
it's
point
pretty-
7%.
I think it's
or
1.7%.
Yeah,
It's
no.
one.
I think
I
it's
thought
1.7.
whatever the number. Okay, so whatever the number is, it's a small percentage.
Yeah.
And
So
they're
you were
6
even-
times
you were
more
even-
likely. They're 6 times more
Yeah.
likely to be autistic.
Sure.
That's
So
a study.
Here's put this in perspective. Because it's a mental disorder or handicap, I would say 1%. 1%.
Mhm.
A total of 121,000 children under the age of 15 are in wheelchairs. And we actually accommodate bathrooms for wheelchair users because of their handicap. So we do something for those people who are disabled in a way that they're unable to handle it. So if we say that these mental situations where they're in a situation where they're claiming to be something that they're not in a mental status that is healthy, there is potentially a space that we can give them. And we've been all raised till the age of who knows how long, 16, 18, 20 years old, in multi-gender families where we shared the same bathroom with other genders, just took turns. So that's in our homes. So there's no problem with designing facilities.
And that's where
to do that, but they don't want that.
Correct.
If you
That's
remember
the
my
crux of the problem.
interview, right?
Yes.
I don't. People probably saw my interview with when the transgender came in to speak,
Yes.
Yep.
and I said, "Let's talk about this.
I remember
What
you
would
saying
you
that.
accept?"
That was
And
perfect.
it was never
And that's
right.
I wanted to
That
point
was the
that-
whole point of
advocates.
that.
I wanted to
Because
point
they're
this
What
out.
I liked
was-
about that video, and I remember seeing it, is at the very end, you were saying, and Larry was in that video too, wherever you guys were talking, and you said, "Look, we'll give you like basically a separate bathroom," and they immediately turned it. That one transgender turned it to that's like a blacks only water
Right.
fountain.
Oh,
I'm like,
cis-
and
it
you
was
went,
cis.
"All right, we can't make you happy."
It was cisgender,
Exactly.
right? Like
Yeah.
we don't think like that. I never put people into
Correct.
categories, but
Right.
the left
They just
constantly
keep
putting in
moving.
categories.
That's what they do.
So the way that I saw this was the same way when they came out with they wanted to ban guns, right?
Mhm.
And red flag laws.
Still do.
And Trump came out and he said, "Okay, let's talk about it." And he endured severe heat from the right, the conservative right, for about 2 weeks
Yes.
until they realized his strategy was to get them to the table and then say, "Okay, I'm willing to negotiate with you. What's your negotiation?" And their negotiation was absolutely no guns whatsoever. And he said, "Well, we're not doing that. So I guess there's no negotiation."
Right.
But he brought him to the table with a compromise, with
Mhm.
something,
Mhm.
a negotiational
Right, certainly,
tactic.
yeah.
And that's what I saw you doing was, look, separate bathrooms. What about this? What about that? And they refused. And that then reveals what their true motives and agendas are. They're not worried about the whatever it is, 1 or 2% of the people that are actually struggling with these severe mental disabilities that if they are left alone by these whack jobs out there will actually grow. 90% of these kids will grow completely out of this.
The issue's never the issue. They always have to twist it.
Correct.
Which they did that with Michelle when she voted.
Correct.
She was what nobody was listening to is the fact that in closed session they voted on the performance of the superintendent. Am I right?
We'll talk about that. Yeah, like I want to start by describing that process, but let's finish this discussion first.
So
because I think it's important. One more thing I want to add. So when I was talking to the lawyer, because I think this is a really important point that people are not paying attention to, is everyone has natural instincts, right? Like if your natural instinct, like when we were watching the other day, during when Trump the attempted assassination,
Dodge a bullet.
I looked at everybody behind that and I said to my husband, I said, it's kind of strange that men weren't pulling women behind them, right? Like that's your first inclination is to protect a woman, whether you know her or not, right? That's what a true man does. And, and I look at this and I go, okay, so.
But the one man who did die.
That's what he was doing.
On his wife and daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
So as a man, if a female walks in your bathroom, you're instantly going to feel like, I got to protect her. I have to leave, right? Like you want to protect her. As a female, if you're if I'm in a restroom and a man dressed as a woman walked in, I'm going to feel fear because it's naturally built inside of me. Yeah. It's a life or death situation, right? Like you feel fear.
Can I tell you a story after you're done explaining this?
Yeah.
Because it just happened to me.
Oh, okay. So my point is now you're asking children who are growing up, they have this natural instinct because it's normal for them to have fear of a stranger, right? Like you go, if you walked up to a little kid and you said, yeah, exactly. But they feel that and they run to their mom.
Exactly.
So if you're having, a child's in there and you're like, oh, you have to ignore your natural instinct. You'll get used to it. What are you doing? You're disarming their ability to understand, and detect danger.
Correct.
What kind of future is that child going to have when they have to ignore their natural instinct? Like somebody's going to come at them and they're not going to have a feeling.
Well, isn't it a duality? It's a duality and dynamic. Shift just that way, guys. Shift just that way. Yeah, just shift that way. So I want to do this duality and then hear Kelly's story of this. But the duality of it is that when you have a strong father, good, strong father in the home, you respect but revere that father. Women do, and they look up to them. Many, if you have
my husband would give his life.
Exactly, and if you have a strong father, your daughter is going to want to find a man that emulates her dad, right? And then the duality is that there's so much in a good relationship. There's so much respect and admiration and respect in that. And then the other part that you talk about with the fear dynamic is that's not my father, of somebody else that walks into a room where they shouldn't be. And there's this duality of this man I know, he's been in my life, will protect me. And I am not only am I not afraid, I look to him for protection. And then there's this man that I do not know, and he or maybe another father and be a good man, but in a certain situations, I'm talking about the bathroom situation.
No,
in
but
particular,
don't you
I'm saying
think? I know what you're saying, but don't you think you approach children with that thought in mind? My husband would never approach a child.
Correct.
Right? Like he just doesn't. Like he kind of like ignore. Like it's just not what he does.
And we're trying. And what's happening is they're trying to blur that and break it down so there isn't that respect and honor for father figures, and there's not this overt fear from those who may cause harm in certain situations, like a bathroom situation we've heard many times, of young girls getting raped.
Ignore that,
yeah. And so they're trying to break that down so that we don't have that true understanding and dynamic of this is a person I have a relationship with, so there's respect, there's admiration. This person I don't have a relationship, so I should be at first,
of course,
not in total fear, but at least cautious right off the bat because I don't know you.
600,000 children.
And the minute you step into this environment, and we've got a pandemic. If we've had any pandemic, it's been the pedophilia and the trafficking of children.
600,000 children disappear in America every year, the U.S., and you don't hear a word about it.
No.
600,000, that's like 750 elementary schools.
And
I want my child to fear other people, right? Like you have to now, because if you don't, it could be life or death.
And CPS
and I like toxic masculinity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
CPS is facilitating a lot of it.
How insulting.
It is, right?
Toxic,
it's
not
toxic.
It's not.
That's the undermining of it.
Yeah.
I said it last week.
There
are women in my own family that demean men constantly, and I'm trying to raise a young man that's respectful and loving and kind, but still strong and in himself and capable of protecting his family. How do I do that when the matriarchy that raised the patriarchy they can't stand, by the way, constantly demeans what a man is?
Not only does
Constantly
it disrespect and dishonor men who their number one job and primary instinct is to protect and provide. That's their number one instinct. So when we disrespect that, it's disrespecting the person who's being disrespectful as well as the person being disrespected. And then you move forward and you're raising, in societies, we're raising young men who are in that environment, and so they don't default to their instinct to protect and rise up and be providers and protectors for the women, because they've been raised in an environment of being disrespected.
And that was my point. When a woman enters the bathroom with you guys, and you're supposed to ignore it, right? Because she's dressed as a man. You're supposed to ignore. Guys are supposed to ignore their natural instinct to protect females.
Right.
It's on both sides.
Absolutely. Well, and there's situations where I've had my grandkids. Well, even my daughter when she was younger, but I've had my grandkids. Okay, and we're at a store and they're hanging out with grandpa, and grandpa, I got to go potty. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to the ladies' room with you. You're 4 or 5, and I'm not taking you into the men's room. So grandpa will be right out. Are you good? You're 5. Are you good? Because I'll let you go.
Yeah. If you don't have a neutral gender.
And then I'm standing outside the door.
Yeah.
And as women are passing by me, I'm like,
yeah, you're creeping it.
I've literally, because of my moral instinct, I've literally looked at women that are passing and kind of looking at me, and I go, my granddaughter's in there. Will you check on her for me?
Right.
So not just saying
to let them know you're okay.
I did it with my son in the bathroom.
Yeah. I didn't get defensive and go, hey, my granddaughter's in there. I'm not a creeper, right? And yet we've got these bold. We haven't hit that. We just hit the 9 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
We got these. We've got these people out there that are messed up in their own minds, and society and the medical community is enabling because they're making money off of them. That's the bottom line of that aspect of it. And these people are coming into these situations, and they have no reservation about being in an. I was uncomfortable standing outside the women's bathroom because my granddaughter's in there.
Because you inherently know. Nobody told you that.
And yet we got people that are dressing up in women's outfits going into a woman's bathroom.
Yeah.
You know, the guy's bathroom situation she mentioned, when a woman walks into a guy's bathroom, there's no problem with us ignoring, because we ignore each other. Nobody speaks to each other in the guys' bathrooms. So you could have 3 guys, 5 guys, 12 guys in there.
Yeah.
Not a word will be said.
Yeah, but let's say you're in there and a 16-year-old who is transgender, male to female, or female to male, walks in.
No, what I'm saying
you're going to leave. I would hope you would, right?
No, the nature is to ignore everyone.
Yeah. The nature,
is it? Oh,
yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know
we
this.
don't ignore each other in the bathroom.
No, we talk.
I don't want to dive into it too much, but I'm going to tell you
But
what.
it's so true.
In a normal setting, walking into a men's room, guys very rarely talk to each other.
Yeah, well, it's a little different.
Or even notice each other.
But now in hockey, where we shower off afterwards.
That's a locker room.
It's a different dynamic.
This is
I want to hear Kelly's story
I've
too.
I've been on both sides of those. We got something in chat and then Kelly's story.
I was just going to read I was going to read one of the chat things, but go ahead,
Coffee. You want to read one of them?
Luke Mama's asking a bunch of questions.
Well, can you not talk with your mouth full?
Well, while he's chewing his mouth, a full-on furry.
I will read it.
Bluth Mama says, this is so wrong. Is any of the verbiage changing from the last 2 policies presented on the last board packet? Question. The second one is, you guys should really read the policy proposals. Both policies literally is to protect chuckles and still leaves our girls at risk. And the final is, so how does this policy help with anything? Can you explain what a wraparound meeting is? This is involved in this process. According to the policy proposal, I personally would like more clarification.
Okay, what's the first question?
First one was, this is so wrong. Is any of the verbiage changing from the last 2 policies presented on the last board packet?
So again, the first policy that was submitted was knocked down, and that was a no use at all. You're going to use your gender neutral bathroom, no use at all. It was shot down by legal. So we couldn't implement that no matter what. So this is a policy that is implemented in another school. And mind you, it's already resulted in the ACLU contacting us and writing the letters, right? So I'm sorry. Say the question again.
ACLU, that is the, in case anybody doesn't know, that is the Antichrist Liberals Union.
That is not the
Yeah, but
legal
it's still something to pay
meaning of that.
attention to. So,
That's a joke by Larry.
Again, I'm so sorry.
We do not subscribe to
what's
parody
the-
here.
Ask the question. I want to answer your question.
Second one.
You guys should really read the policy proposals. Both policies literally is to protect chuckles and still leave
No,
some girls
so
at risk.
okay. So the thing is like it has nothing to do with protecting the superintendent for anything. What it is putting guardrails on a situation that we can't stop.
Right.
You cannot stop the situation, but you can put guardrails on it. And the guardrails are that it can't just be anybody that one day wakes up and says, you know what, I'm going to try this because, whatever. It's going to be fun, whatever, because who knows what goes through teenagers' minds. But it puts guardrails on it and says, okay, you have to bring in your parents. So that, that results in parents knowing, because the number one thing I hear is, oh, they're going to be abused, right? They're going to get kicked out of their house. Now, that's to say that every parent is shitty. And I'm sorry, but I lived in this community. I've been, privy to a lot of relationships with a lot of families. There's a lot of damn good families in this area that are going to be, if something like that happened, they would be shocked, but they would never, I don't know.
They would love their kids.
Yeah, but of course, anybody would freak out, right? But again, you automatically go to the fact that they can't tell their parents. But the problem is if they don't tell the parents, they can't get the kids the help they need. Right. So that's what that wraparound means, is like, you've got to bring in people and hopefully that will get them the help, whether it's helping them, and it gets it out of the school too. Right. Because if they have a therapist, because the school, I feel like a lot of the things that we're also dealing with is the teachers have a lot to deal with. And, and the teachers don't need additional things to deal with. Right. And like a professional, like if this child picks the wrong teacher to go to in a crisis, right? I feel like I'm, transgender or whatever, goes to the wrong teacher and the teacher says the wrong thing. Who knows what that's going to result in? Because that teacher's not a professional. Just because they have a heart doesn't mean they're a professional and can talk through a kid in crisis, right?
Psychological professional.
Well, I don't want to call out the teacher because I don't remember who it was, but Angela Arbor's daughter, Anne Marie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Spoke at the school board and then shortly thereafter in the classroom got called out.
How weak is that person that she can't take the slight bit of criticism and pushback she got for blasting one of her own students? She had to leave. I'm leaving. Well, why did you do it in the freaking first place?
Now I know
to a student.
In my job, in my profession, if somebody would accuse me of something that I didn't do, I'd stay and fight, right? Like I would be like, listen, we're not following what you're saying because I didn't do that, right? Because it's my profession, right? I've been doing this. So that situation, I can't talk about in detail, but it was her choice, that's what happened. And
that's my critique.
Yeah. But the thing is again, okay, so back to the question. It is to help the children that need help, because if you don't, they're not going to tell their parents. And if you don't tell your parents, you're not going to get the right help. They're the ones that love you the most.
Right.
I'm sorry. A teacher can love their students, and they do love their students, but nobody loves your child as much as a parent. Regardless of how you love them or not, it's still your child. Okay,
Correct.
What's the next one?
I would read this last one.
And don't kill the messenger.
Microphone.
It's okay. I told you, everybody hates me on both sides.
When you get to the Hughes thing, I'm just reading. When you get to the Hughes thing, let me know, and I got a question for you. When you get to the Hughes.
I'm not going to talk about anything in particular.
So Sleuth Mama wants to know, she said, so the a wraparound meeting is easy to explain. A wraparound means they're just establishing the guardrails. It's a meeting where they get together and they say, okay, we've now passed this policy. How are we implementing this policy? That's the wraparound. You've got to get around to how you're going to put it into play.
Yeah, like what are the guardrails to the policy?
So that's what,
because you can't deny it.
That was one of the questions. What is a wraparound meeting? So this is the last question. So that meeting has to get set up, right? What bathroom does the student use during the meantime? Do you have access to those resources? Are we prepared for that if it happens the first week of school?
Okay, so
because there's
nothing established anywhere. I mean, anybody could do an online search for policies for schools. Many schools don't have anything. I could do nothing, but this is the most that we can do to, make sure that the kids are getting the help they need, and that everybody's involved that needs to be involved. You can't just let some kid in crisis float around and go, oh, you want to go use the girls' bathroom? Go right ahead, right? Like you've got to get some.
You got to have something.
I do have to say, if parents really, truly are against this, and this goes back to what Patrick said earlier, if parents are really, truly against this, once it's implemented, they have the right to sue.
Right.
And you can pick exactly who on that board you want to sue.
Right.
So if you don't like that somebody has said, nope, this is how it's going to be, and people said, hey, use caution, like Michelle has, this is not safe, you can go and sue Chuck because he's advocating for it. You can go and sue Costa.
Well, no, he's not advocating for it. So let's be clear. Like some of the misconceptions that go around are the fact that like, you know, somebody likes it and somebody doesn't. It's a lot of the legal,
liability.
the lawyers come in and they say, you have to do this. Now, the one thing I can say is that you know, it's not a significant pushback, right? That's the most I can say.
Right.
It's not like Chuck's inviting this. I think it's just the superintendent is not, you know, it's kind of like a protection of the school as well. Because like, let's say he's flippant in something and we get sued, then he's
Like
got,
Chuck
you know, there's
Todd
a no
just did in
win.
Pinckney.
There's a no win, right? Like,
Yeah.
and so you can't really like tear into him on that one.
Yeah.
It's a lawyer
just
telling
saying-
him this.
I'm just
Well, it's
saying
kind
that if
of-
parents are really that truly unhappy once this policy gets
Right.
passed, if whatever the policy
Yeah.
ends up being comes in, and this is for Sleuth Mama specifically, if the policy comes into being and you guys as a group get together and you say,
Sure.
no,
Yeah.
start a
You want
GoFundMe.
more?
Give
I saw
some
today,
dough.
Moms for Liberty.
Moms
They have
for- you're-
lawsuits out right
if
now.
you are part of
And now
Moms
no
for
school with a
Liberty,
Moms for Liberty child in it
You are
can
not-
implement the Title IX changes.
Exactly. So
Oh, wow.
if that was passed by the
We
Supreme
don't have a
Court,
Moms for Liberty. Jennifer like had to
She
give it up for
disbanded
the
it.
yeah, and so there's nobody. I contacted her
Right.
today. I was like, "What do we got here?"
Our
right?
friendly assholes with casseroles. Yep,
Yes.
we love them. Go.
Yeah.
So basically, that's the
Yes.
option. Sue, because that's what the other side will
Yeah,
do.
like, there's
period.
nothing-
They'll sue.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
get together and sue. That's the only thing these administrators will listen to.
But
That's
it's
it.
not. It's again. It's not the administrators because this folds into the education, non-indoctrination.
Mhm.
It's coming from the machine,
Mhm.
right?
And that's what I
there
want to
are
point out.
people that have their you know got their
Yes.
like this.
Like
Vox
all the school
Machina.
districts switching to Troon
Yeah.
law firm. That is a statewide law firm now
Yeah.
for all the schools. They're no
And they're
longer
the ones that
community
create the
schools.
policies
Yeah,
and
and
have
you
to fight
gotta
them.
understand they're a Democrat law.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Of course.
They're a liberal law firm. So you're not gonna get a legal opinion. You're gonna get a partisan
Well, no,
opinion.
like, but be clear though, is all law is opinion. It's
Mhm.
all opinion. If you know, because anybody can interpret the law the way they want to interpret it and spin it the way they want to spin it, which is why when I was trying to find the little thread, can I ask this question? How does this work?
Right.
Like he was like, well, I don't know, that wasn't litigated or that hasn't been in legal, you know, there's been no legal standing on that one.
No
I'm
precedent.
like, well, let's go. Like, who wants to be the one to step up and
Correct.
say,
Well, right.
Well, look at
there
the-
has
look at
been the courts have
Oh,
not
what?
interpreted.
Go ahead.
Okay, the courts have not interpreted the
Raise your
what
hand,
was that
son.
act
Title
again?
IX,
The
Elliot Larson?
the Elliott Larson or Title IX.
Right.
Right. The courts have not interpreted it, meaning that boys can use girls' bathrooms, locker rooms.
Well,
And it
it might-
hasn't been
It is not-
congressionally changed yet, so it's
No.
not even legal.
Well, no,
and
that
Trump-
but here's the thing: it's not. It doesn't need to go through Congress because it's an interpretation. They've changed the interpretation. It's already implemented.
Mhm.
They changed the interpretation. We now interpret this to include, you know, so which does away with Title IX because if you're going to let boys in girls' bathrooms and let them in sports, why have a Title IX?
Why have Title IX, which
Okay.
was hard fought for
Sleuth
by the women.
Mama, I beg to differ because there are 3 parents that sued individually Brighton School Board members for something that they had done during meetings. They broke quorum. And those school board members individually were sued for breaking quorum by parents. So yes, you can do it. It's whether or not enough parents will get together and do it. Period.
True. And,
Well,
and it
most
takes
of the time, public officials
Mhm.
are protected. They have
a
immunity.
certain amount of, but
and,
not,
and we saw this with the Supreme Court ruling, with presidential immunity with Trump.
there is,
But
yeah.
I gave a speech on this before the Heartland School Board about qualified immunity. And there's limits.
Mhm.
It's not a limitless
Let me
thing.
hear your story.
Let's
You
hear
wanna
your
hear my
story,
story?
Kelly. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we should move on because there's other questions.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I think
We're
there's
not gonna
nothing
solve-
we're going to
we're not
solve.
gonna
Can't
solve this
fix it.
tonight.
Right.
And we don't even know what it is
And I
yet.
hope I've answered everyone's
Well,
questions.
Well, and I want to say this before Kelly does that what you just brought up, or what was just brought up, is that you're fighting against. We're not fighting within Heartland School District or
Right.
Brighton School District. How We're not fighting within that. We're fighting a huge bureaucracy.
The
That is
machine.
Yeah.
a machine that is far above everything, that's sending down dictates that you then as the elected board members are trying to wrestle with and find things for, that the Congress has not even, that the legislator hasn't even ruled on, that you're being demanded by vocal minorities to make
Right.
decisions on, that has no precedent, that has no case law, that has no rulings in jurisdiction. We just had we're just having the Olympic Committee, after a number of years, say that Leah Thomas can't swim with the girls on the girls team. Okay,
So
because
Sleuth
it
Mama,
took several years to get through that, because they didn't have a precedent, they didn't have anything
Right.
set up.
uh-huh.
So I understand what I'm saying in all of this is I understand the minefield that you are in and the other board
And
members
where
are
the
in.
yeah,
And
yes.
understand that you're navigating through it. You're doing, and tonight you're saying, I did as much due diligence and
I did.
research as I could, and I came back with something that I thought could work for the moment until something comes down from the legislature, and then we can fight
yeah,
on that front.
right.
But right now, we do have to acknowledge there's a couple of messed up kids.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we can't just discount them, but we can't let them just have free reign either.
I did
Right.
have to apologize to a bunch of people because when I was Mike Detmer's campaign manager, people came up to me and told me that there was somebody dressed like a cat attending Heartland schools,
And you had to apologize for the cat?
and that there was kitty litter boxes in the classroom.
No, there's not.
And I didn't believe that.
No.
I
No,
didn't
Harlan
believe
is
that.
no, and again, so
I think
let's
that
touch on a couple things because, so can we hear your story?
Yeah.
You've been waiting so patiently. I want to hear your story, and then we're gonna move on because there's other
we gotta
stuff
move
that
on.
I think we.
But there was a guy.
Wait a second. Sleuth
Okay.
Mama is saying that you are pushing the policy, not the other side. No, she's setting up protections within a policy because the other side wants to let it all go.
Yeah.
So if you don't want, like she said, guardrails, basically what she's doing is saying, wait, we
Not a
can't let all the
free-for-all.
kids do whatever they
Not
want.
a free for
We have to establish boundaries.
visitors to the school, right?
And
Like
they're-
you're at a football game and right now it's trustworthy. Your 12-year-old wants to go to the restroom. Who's to say a man isn't going to
I
walk
was
in
going to
there?
say, didn't Heartland just approve a policy like 2 years ago or a year ago stating that sex
Oh,
offenders
that was about it was that they
were
were
allowed
hoping.
to?
Well, that was a Thrune thing. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was again guardrails, but
Yeah.
And let me put it in this context, because I see Sleuth Mama saying that
You see what
it's not
she's
true. No, it is true. Here's the situation. I made rotisserie chicken today for dinner with carrots, honey pepper carrots, okay, with a side of some what the hell was it called? Masticholi,
Yeah.
penny masticholi,
Mini mustaches.
Patrick's signature salad. That's the menu. That's the dinner that was put in front of you. If you chose to get ranch on your salad or balsamic vinegar or poppy seed or something on your salad, if you chose to grab some barbecue sauce for your chicken or a little bit of ranch or something to dip it in, those are the choices you had. But the meal itself that was presented to you was all you had to choose from. You were sitting in a district where this is being put in front of you.
This is the policy.
This is the
Thrune
well, you got a
policy.
lot of people.
And you're like,
you know,
wait a minute. We
yeah.
can't,
Well, no, I brought the policy forward. Like this is
correct, but
this
I'm
is
saying,
the policy I brought forward.
right, but it's within the parameters of what's already
Correct.
being dictated
Correct.
to you.
Yes.
That's what I'm pointing
Yeah,
out.
we have no
is-
choice.
is
but
you're
there-
going,
it's
okay,
either
wait a
this
minute.
or nothing.
If you're going to dictate something to us, then I'm going to find the best solution
Yes.
within that dictates.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm saying about dinner. Dinner is presented to you. You're at an event, and it's chicken or roast beef.
Because
Well,
again, you may not pull the family in,
What does-
right?
Exactly. And so what I'm saying is those are the dynamics that we're looking at. And
Limits
until we can come in there, and you don't have to eat it. Pull your kids out. And we've advocated that multiple times on the show.
There's lots of really
There's
great
lots of
homeschool
people that are
groups.
pulling their kids out of school. And that's a dynamic. Absolutely. You know what? If 10% right now, if 10% of Heartland or Howell or Brighton or Pinckney or Fowlerville pull their kids out, that will send shockwaves through 10%, just 10%
Sure would.
of the parents. But
Yeah.
here's the problem. We also have to acknowledge the reality that most of our parents are out there are 2-income families who cannot afford. We just had a conversation with one of our friends of the show that he said his biggest struggle throughout the summer is with his 4 kids is finding daycare or family members that can watch them so that they can continue, him and his wife can go to work. We've been put into such a debt-based economy and we're of course dealing with Bidenomics right now to the certain extent that we're so strained on this that the school district is our daycare. And we just spent the first hour or more of the show talking about primarily bathroom policy. Not talking about what education.
Well, we're the 25th in like all countries. We're the 25th country in education.
And number one in
but
spending.
they've been telling us that we're, everyone comes here to get an education.
Yeah.
They're kicking our butts, right? And
You
we're
can say
focusing
ass, 'cause
on this.
we're after 9.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they're focusing on this, right? And you're
Correct.
just like, bring it back to education. Again, that's
Correct.
the education, not indoctrination that's coming down from the machine, right? Because like, there's just so much, you guys, that
This is
you run
something-
into. You guys think we have so much more influence than we do. We don't. I mean, it's all, we're policy, right? We're policy, but there we also have everything around us that forces how we apply the policy or
I got a
how we
question.
implement the policy.
I got one
This
question.
is something that gets shoved down our throats. This is a little bit of a different spin, but I want to share it with you. My family owns a few condos in Ann Arbor in a community. I sat on the board there for 11 years. It ran like a tight ship when I was there. When I left, the wheels came off the cart. And they have this thing called service animals. Now, in this community, they have common areas, hallways that you have to go out into in order to go outside. Well, we've only allowed cats because cats stay in the respective condos. Well, because a couple of folks decided that they wanted to have service animals, they now have pigs and dogs and what have you.
Chickens and snakes.
They acquiesced to a couple different folks. Fast forward to today, everybody's got dogs. And there are certain people that they don't want to have to take their dog out. So they'll just let the dog run in the hallway and the dog pisses and shits in the hallway. And there's carpeting out there. And so this nice carpeting, these hallways that I was instrumental in getting redone are now trashed and they have to be redone. And guess who has to pay for that? A lot of those condos there are just rental properties for people that live in California or wherever. So the people that are condo owners who live there, they got a pretty bad situation.
They're suffering.
Yeah, because of a couple individuals that decided. I fought that tooth and nail when I was there. I said, I will go to court on this. I don't care what it costs. I will die on this hill. I'm not allowing this in this community. And after I left, this is what's happened. The value of those places, which were pretty damn pricey, because they're right downtown Ann Arbor. It's right across from the University of Michigan Medical Center, and it's an extremely expensive property, which now has gone down the toilet as a result of this. So
these policies.
Well, yeah, you let them take. You give them an inch, they take the country.
Correct.
Yeah, really, that's where we're at
but
right now.
I'll go back to this that until like Donald Trump, the art of the deal, right? Until he said, okay, let's talk about banning. Let's talk about red
Not
flag on
talking
guns.
about veterans clown.
Huh? But
He thinks you're talking about whoever Larry is gay, whoever that is, says.
Larry
A
is
genius.
gay.
Most war veterans have service animals. I don't think you're talking about war veterans. You're
No.
talking about idiots that claim
Yes.
that this is my,
You're
it
talking-
gives me
story?
emotional
Can I hear
support
it?
service
Yeah.
animal.
You're
Right.
talking. You're talking about
Whoever this guy is.
Paris Hilton with her chihuahua in a bag, saying it gives her comfort. All right, my only final point, and then Kelly's got to do this, or not my final point, but on this point was that in those situations, we're trying to make the best of a situation until we get to Donald Trump. Art of the deal came in and said, "I'll negotiate with you on red flag. Let's negotiate. Yeah, we've had some violent crime. Let's negotiate on it." And then when they got to the table, they said, "We want all gun ban." He goes, "Well, no, we're not doing that." But for 2 weeks, he took heat from all of the conservatives because he entertained their idea of
Well, you have
banning
to.
guns.
You have to listen
But
to
he
everything.
did it to call their bluff.
Mhm.
And I believe that's what you guys have to do to a certain extent, is you have to entertain until there's actually legislation that comes down. And just like you said, Title IX, if we're going to allow biological males into girls' bathrooms, biological females' bathrooms, we're destroying everything that Title IX stood for, which they've been whittling.
Yeah.
And it's like, why did the girls fight for this for so long? I have 3 cousins that went to college on sports scholarships, which is totally predicated on Title IX.
Now men or boys are going to be getting these female.
Correct. But then we've got someone like Riley Gaines who endured and endured and endured, and now has pushed back and stood up and pushed back.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to have to happen. Unfortunately,
What a great,
we didn't ask for this
she's
fight.
an inspiration for girls.
We didn't
she
ask-
really is. She's
Correct.
People need somebody to look up to, and it's really great
Heck,
that
I'm not
she
a
came
girl,
out at this
I'm
time.
inspired by her.
Yeah, that's
Before
true.
you-
Yeah, I was going to say,
Before you
not
move
just
on,
girls.
I have
Inspires
one
me.
last question over here off
right,
to
let
the
me-
side before you move on.
Okay. And I disagree with Mama. We are talking about girls, the risk to girls in bathrooms right here on
I
the
can't
show.
see any of the comments, so are they nasty?
Yeah, right over here. Right over here.
Again, I can't make everyone happy,
No,
but
no,
I'm
but she's saying that
doing-
we're not talking about girls. No, we're literally trying to navigate it and have a discussion about it with someone who's on a school board who's having to deal with a bunch of administrative bullshit.
It's a broken system.
It's a broken system that we're trying to make the best out of. And again, Coffee, what's your thing? Then we got to do Kelly's story.
Kelly's had a story for 20 minutes.
It's
What's your question?
The
important.
question is, somebody asks, Michelle responds about her vote that Chuck was highly effective.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah, I'll talk about it. I don't mind.
We'll move to Chuck
All right,
later.
do I ask a question or not?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. After Michelle responds about her vote that Chuck was highly effective, why isn't her daughter enrolled in Heartland schools and goes to a different school district?
I'll tell you those reasons. I don't mind at all.
She didn't vote that Chuck was highly effective.
Yeah.
Let's
So
just get that
let me give you a
clear.
hypothetical, okay? Because I can only do hypothetical. And this is the way
Don't
that the
kill the
super.
messenger.
No, I'm totally fine. I'm not mad. I'm not. There are logical questions that need to be answered, and I'm okay with it. So the superintendent review is mandated from the Michigan Board of Education. This is how you do it. And what it is it's a majority rule type thing. Everybody, the superintendent fills out his evaluation, gives himself his scores. Then you go into a closed session and you have a mediator. We had a mediator, and the process is you hear what the superintendent gave themselves, and then you go around the room and you say, okay, what do you give? What do you give? What is your reason? What's your reason? What's your reason? So let's say 4 people thought it was highly effective. 3 people did not. He got highly effective, right? That's how it goes. There's many times, like, we sat down for a long time and did our review. It was thoughtful, and nobody even collected it. It was just more along the lines of like, okay, the superintendent gave him, the highest mark that you can get. Who agrees? And, people would agree. Some people wouldn't agree, but the majority of the people would agree. So we came out of the meeting, and this is after we sat through another situation where teachers were making comments about how we hate them and we're ruining the district and we're doing this and we're doing that without one shred of evidence that I've ever done anything that prove, there's more proof that the left is causing a lot of the hatred going on than any proof of mine. I haven't done anything. I love a lot of the teachers at Heartland, and there's a lot of proof behind that because I've always volunteered. I was always the one bringing stuff in. So getting back to this. So we get ripped on, we go in, and mind you, a boss's effectiveness is also based upon his employees, right? A good boss has good employees. You're not necessarily know how to do it yourself, but you know who to put in that position to get the job done and to do the right thing. Well, there's some damn good employees at Heartland, and you can't deny it. So when you're looking at this, you're like, oh, okay, so we're talking about, budgets or whatever. He's got the right person in the place for budgets. We have a damn good controller there, right? Like she's really good at it. So I have to consider that. I know you're not supposed to, but he picked somebody to go in that position and she does a bang up job, right? So anyway, no, I didn't. I personally, when I voted, I said, I did not vote. This is not my vote. I just can't influence any scores anymore because it didn't matter what I voted. It didn't matter. Because if somebody voted outside of what I was voting, my vote was disregarded. So when we came back out of the meeting at 10:30 at night or whatever, and they said, do we vote this? It is what he was voted. I can't deny that. I can't change it. So when I made my vote and I said, well, I can't influence it. We went through the process. I'm voting yes, we went through the process. I didn't necessarily find him highly effective. effective, there is a lot of effective if he's got the right people in the right places, which he does. So, for everybody to like say, oh, I voted, and then all of a sudden it became about him, not the employees anymore, because, then the newspaper printed that I think he's highly effective. Again, there's a lot of really good employees there that will be impacted by the way I vote, right? And I wanted them to know that I think they're damn good employees and they're really good at their jobs. And I didn't have it, maybe I didn't do it the way somebody thought I should, but it's how he was voted. I couldn't change that.
Well, so you couldn't change the fact that he was voted highly effective.
Correct.
But
nothing. I had no influence.
You voted,
and I said
not
it when
in
I
favor
voted.
of him, but in favor of the people that were under him.
Yeah, because we were getting all that feedback that we think teachers think we hate them and stuff. And again, there was no proof. And everything I've ever voted was good for the teachers, and everything I've ever done, is like, it's never been against teachers. When and it's always been the left saying, oh, they hate teachers, they do this. They're the ones that are stoking hatred fires, not me.
The indoctrination that you guys ran on when it said on those boards, education, not indoctrination, you were meaning indoctrination from policy from the top down, not teachers teaching in the classroom.
Well, of course there's some, because I ran into it, which is why my daughter doesn't go to Harlan right now, because I had to pull her out, because I knew that people that, support that kind of thing weren't going to like me, and they were going to be mean to my child. And she had already gone through enough. Because, and I don't want to bring her up, but there was a situation where she asked a question, and she was asked, she was basically accused of being racist. Now, let me just tell you.
Well, your daughter's white, so obviously in a public school.
Well, no, because her brothers are, we trust me. She was very upset. She was 10 years old, and she asked a question that a student should ask. Is basically, I would say, why do we learn about Black people? Like, what event happened this month, right? I want to know what event happened that now it's Black History Month, right? It's just a question that any student in a school should be allowed to ask without being asked, why do you hate Black people? And she was devastated. And I would drop her out of school, and she'd go, okay, Mama, I can do this. And I was like, oh. Right?
At 10 years old.
Yeah. And then, and so, it just kind of snowballed.
She was wondering why they were segregating.
Why were we learning about Black? Like, it was a simple childhood question.
Yeah.
Why is there a Black History Month?
Why is there this specific?
Yeah.
It's an innocent question.
And so then when I was going to run for school board, it became obvious to me that it was going to be contentious because of all the things going on in the world, everything. Yeah. And so we pulled her out, and we put her in a private school, and it was protected her, right? Like, and no, it hasn't been easy. No, it hasn't been easy.
I just really want to really quick to the commenters. If you actually were behind the scenes and knew the ins and outs of, so I'm going to first make a statement. I am going to be running for school board.
Yay, good for you.
I have been working for the last, 4 years, trying to break down policy, how things are run, reading Robert's rules. If you have not seen some behind the scenes or been involved in what it takes to be in the seat, please don't put out ignorant pedestrian statements, because there is a lot that goes on that you have absolutely no control over. And at the end of the day, because I've read the policy and how it's supposed to be enacted, I've read how it works. She wasn't voting on Chuck's effectiveness when she was sitting on the board, at the board, when they went around the circle and you guys got to see it on TV or whatever it is you're watching it on. She voted that, yes, she voted. You don't know what she voted behind closed doors, because you weren't behind the closed doors, because that's what the closed session is for, and that's what the lawyers make them do. And Chuck has the option to do that out in front of you, but he chose to do behind closed doors.
Right.
Just like Brighton's chose to do behind closed doors. They keep it behind closed doors so you remain ignorant, and you target the certain people that are trying very hard to stand up for you. And I will be trying very hard to stand up if I get elected to my position. As a matter of fact, when I was circulating, I was point blank asked, how do you feel about the field house? Personally, I thought $3 million on a field house was a waste of money when we got leaky ceilings. We've got kids that can't get into chairs because they're falling apart. That's my thought process, but it's not a hill I'm going to die on. Harming a child in a classroom is a hill I'm going to die on. Right. And my school district is hiding that. She voted where you got to see it, that yes, she voted. She didn't tell you what that vote was behind the closed door, because she's not allowed to, because Chuck chose to have a closed session. That is how it worked. So just to stop this, because I'm reading what you're saying here,
And you know what? Honestly,
you don't understand if you're not involved and
I'm
you're
gonna
not
tell you,
there.
some of the comments right now are really pissing me off because my show is about having a conversation, and that's what we're trying to do. And some of you are being assholes in the comments. You're being assuming assholes. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, but again, this is what the right's doing.
You're not considering
we're spinning
the
out
conversation that we're having that is organic right now, trying to bring an understanding. I'm hearing a lot of this for the first time, not completely unaware, but I'm understanding this. And some of the comments, you're being assholes. To say this is literally lies, get the fuck off my show.
It's not lies.
No. You can't even take a moment while we're trying to have a decent conversation and literally just listen. You're gonna say this is literally lies. My show has always been not about the politics, not about anything other than having a conversation. And you're gonna sit here and chat and act like that, then leave. Get off my show. I don't need you to sit here and be an asshole in the comments because you can't take the time to listen to a conversation. Conversations involve disagreement. They involve sides. They involve people with opinions. Kelli just gave a very articulate explanation of what happens behind closed doors, particularly with what Michelle dealt with. And you can't acknowledge it. You're hell-bent on that. So guess what?
Gone.
No, listen. No, you
Gone.
guys, no. Listen,
No. That chatter's gone.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, but again, as an elected official, it's not. You should see some of the other stuff we get, right? Like both sides are hating on us. We're doing the best we can. This is the most unprecedented time in the country. And if I didn't say it how you think I should have said it, maybe there are reasons, right? There are other reasons that I do things, and it's not necessarily that we're the minority in most of the situations. I can say there is another board member that I have great conversations with, that, I have a different kind of relationship with, that I feel we definitely can gel, right? But I can't talk about the other board members. I can only talk about me. And I can tell you that I am doing the best that I can given the situation. And anybody that steps into this seat is going to find the same exact thing. Because I was there one day. I was there. I was the hateful one, but not to this level. But I was the one saying like, "You're doing this, you're doing that." Then I got in there. I'm like, "Oh, it's a little different than I thought." Different. Yeah, like it's different.
It's totally.
And
different.
I'm one to admit it. Like I can admit that I was wrong.
This is an elected position.
Yeah.
That you don't get paid for.
Yeah.
And there's no acknowledgement from anybody in the chat.
It's all right. I mean, it's
there's no acknowledgement.
It's what happens.
And it's pissing me off.
But this is what happens
There's no
with the
acknowledgement
right.
that you're doing this because you
right.
actually care, and they're not acknowledging that you care. There are two types of people on board members, those with agendas and those who actually care. And you're out there trying to navigate through all the bullshit as a first-timer on a board, trying to figure out how to do this. And people are just being assholes.
That's the...
That's why I put a 5-minute mute.
Yeah. It's tough. It's very tough. Like I was the same. I literally told our school board president to shut his damn mouth and sit down, and I wasn't going to sit down because I was upset. I was pissed. But I'm learning that the process is so much bigger and so different than what you actually think it is from the other side of the chair.
And then I'll name off, because pretty soon, like, we're going to get through this, but like, I'll name off, like, being the minority. Like, we brought the security team to the board. We got that implemented as a minority, because a lot of the board members they try to take credit for it. But I found the security team, and it's an excellent security team. And that's for the teachers and the students, right? Parents love dropping their kids off. I helped do that. I helped lead that, but ignore that, right? Like, like the 8805, while a lot of people, thought it was controversial getting rid of those flags in the school, I did that, right? Like, I helped do that. It was, because the majority, like, we did that. But yet you can't look at that. You're going to look at this, and that's fine. And that's what I get. Like, you can't look at, like, this show is going to, like, now I'm spinning out, but again, just know I'm pretty thick skinned. And I can't please everybody, and there's always going to be haters, and I get that. But I can promise you, from the depths of my soul, that I have tried everything that I can to protect our students and our children in this community. I promise you.
Right.
I've spent a lot of time, and I'm not trying to defend myself. I'm just saying that, and I don't go out there on social media and go, oh, this is my one time to say, you guys, this is legitimately, it's different than you think. When people get in there, different people are going to recognize that. And it's a contentious time. My God, I jumped in the race when it wasn't popular. You know what I mean?
And it's easy to be a keyboard warrior.
I'm learning a lot
you're
really
actually in it.
quickly. Yeah, like I'm really quickly learning it. But again, I only have so much control. I know.
And everybody needs to realize something. I came out against part of a policy where I came out against a few sentences of a policy. I didn't come out against the whole entire policy.
Well,
I came out, my comments were targeting the last
couple sentences.
Yeah. And I never, my conversations with Michelle, I have never disrespected her.
No, you haven't.
I have not called her a rhino or said it was a joke.
Right.
My conversations have been respectful because I respect the fact that she volunteers
to do this.
But again, let's move on from that, because I don't want that to be something that I'm seeking out. I'm not seeing. I wanted to answer some questions. I think I did.
You
right?
tried to, yes. And that was where I think the spin out was it was saying and I like Sleuth Mama.
I do.
She said,
but I'm not putting up with that shit.
Weren't answering questions, and you weren't answering them the way she wanted to hear them.
And when she wasn't just blatantly agreeing with you that she was right and you were wrong.
Right. And when people,
and that's not a conversation.
Yes.
That's
but even at work, I learned at work, if you're around all different kinds of people, you have to make the car move. You need all four wheels to spin. And if you're the one that's flat, you're not going to get anywhere, right? Like you're not going to move. And so like, I'm never a flat tire. I try to be the best wheel I can be to get things moving. And at work, I'm highly respected because I do know how to get through tough, challenging times. I'm trying to apply that to this, but it's a whole different ball game, right? Like,
well, can I tell my story really?
Tell your story, Kelli.
Okay, then we can move on from this topic, please.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'm going to preface this, and I'm going to get dark for a second. I'm going to preface this with, and because I don't wear chips on my shoulder, and I worked through all my BS.
Yes.
I am a grown ass woman, and I am confident in myself. I was abused by both females and males when I was a child. And I was just on vacation with my husband for our 20th wedding anniversary. And I stopped at a gas station and used the bathroom. And when I came out of the bathroom, he had to have been 6'7", 6'8", probably 400, maybe 450 pounds. Pigtails, full face makeup, dress.
Oh, that's a twist.
When I came out of the stall, I was terrified. Like that scared me because this very large person was standing in front of me, and I had a moment because I was just like, oh, I'm not used to being confronted in a bathroom where typically it's like, hey, do you have some hand lotion? Not that we all chit chat in the bathrooms, but women do chat more than men do in bathrooms.
Guys don't.
That scared the crap out of me. It really did. It scared the crap out of me.
Right.
And I was abused as a child by both males and females. So I am afraid, and my fight or flight, I will always fight at this point because I had to fight to get to where I am right now and work through the process I've worked through because I'm not a victim. What we're doing when we take children and we put them into this position,
that too,
is we're diminishing their fight, and we're diminishing their flight, and we're diminishing their ability to be able to reason with what is okay for them and how they can navigate through this. And anyone that says that all children have to just accept this and shut their mouths because the 99% of the kids aren't going to be doing this or using different bathrooms and such, you don't know if that child's been molested.
Right.
You don't know if that child has been harmed. You don't know what that child's experience is. And so you're making an assumption that because Johnny decided to be Sally and Sally went into the bathroom and little Becky, who was born Becky, was molested by her neighbor, her uncle, any one of the people that's in her life came out of the bathroom and Johnny that's now Sally is 10 times bigger than her, that she's not going to feel broken inside. Because every time somebody in that position gets put in that position, you have to re-experience what you experience. And you have to work through that process to get past it. And as a child, you can't work through that process. You have to become an adult and work through the process once you get there. Children can't work through that process. And Michelle knows that I had my child abducted. And my child was harmed. My child had to work through the process. And my child is finally on the other side of that process, but she was abducted by someone that she thought she could trust.
Missing, abducted.
Yeah, abducted. So we're opening pathways and doorways for individuals, and this is somebody that was in her school district, just saying, abducted by a student of the school district she went to. We need to understand that by opening doorways and letting people do willy-nilly just go where you want to go is going to result in someone being harmed. And when that happens, be ready for the fallout, because that's what's going to happen. And she, sitting on that board, has no control other than to say, hold on, slow down, wait a minute, we got to figure this out. Because if we don't have something in place, Becky that walks out of that bathroom stall is going to have to re-experience everything she experienced already.
Which is abuse.
And I'm saying
that's abuse.
My child was abducted as a child by another student in her school district. Okay? So bathroom policies are important. It's important. Being able to have a discussion and say, this experience took place. We need to set up guardrails, like having the parents be part of the process so that we know that this child is actually really going through this. Not just that today John feels like Sally and wants to go see what girls are doing under the stall door, because that is the other option. That is the other alternative. And that's not targeting a transgender person that's saying today John wants to be like Sally because maybe John saw his dad rape his mom. Maybe John saw it because the child that abducted my child saw that.
And they'll say, but it's not, that's not happening. And that's not what they want. But so you're saying that everybody is safe.
You're assuming
It's all
everyone's safe.
Yeah.
And this is not, these are the real ramifications of those things. So when I walked out of that bathroom stall and saw that 7-foot tall, 400-pound man, it freaked me the frick out.
PTSD.
Yeah, it freaked me the frick out. For a second, I was fine after that. I went over, washed my hands. They went into the stall. It was no big deal. But my guard went up.
I know women that carry bug spray.
I carry more than that. But my point is, there needs to be real conversations, and the left likes to incite. They like to poke the bear and incite and make angry and get people all riled up. When in reality, we need to sit down. Like when what's his name said hitting cats, right? I was so offended by what he said. I was so offended by what he said on this show that I actually wrote to that person and said, I want you to know you're a human being first. I don't care what you identify as. I don't care what you dress like. You are a human being first, and I would never advocate for you to be harmed. I would never, because I love my brother as myself.
Yeah, I think you meant it as a joke.
I know, but at the same time, it shouldn't have been said.
Yeah, but on the other end, he's probably thought he didn't know, right? Like just like what
it was not a thought.
Yeah,
it was just a flippant.
And that's not how everyone wants to talk or present themselves. So she stuck up for herself. And
I
said,
did.
I
I messaged that because I didn't agree with that, because I try not to say. I try to refrain from saying flippant things because I know that there are always repercussions for those flippant things.
Well, we have definitely seen that the result of this liberals, anything goes in the restroom policies around the country being a disaster. You know, you have two people in Virginia, 2 ladies, 2 girls that were raped. After one rape, the school board moves the rapist to another school where he rapes a second victim, right?
Yep.
And then you have convicted felons telling judges that they feel like girls, so they have to go to the girls' prison. And then you end up with pregnant inmates in women's prisons. So yes, all right. The extremist policies of the left are reckless and dangerous, and they have to be stopped.
Time for truth. It's time for truth.
It is.
Kelly
It is
spoke her
time for
truth. It's time for truth.
A man is a man. I don't care if you neuter your dog.
It's still a boy.
It's still a boy.
Still got a penis.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a eunuch pup.
No, I have a eunuch cat.
All right, we're gonna go to break.
Yeah, we're gonna go to break when we
Michelle
come back
staying
from
after break.
Michelle, are you gonna stick around after the break?
I
Or are you
don't
gonna
know.
head
I'm
out?
gonna see what time it is.
Well, it's
It's
quarter to
almost
10.
It's quarter to
Yeah,
10.
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I mean,
We'll chat.
if you aren't, we would get a final thoughts and have you sign a piece of paper before you go.
Okay.
So you want to do that now? I'm asking you for your decision now.
Oh. No,
Do you
I'll
wanna
sit
hang
through
out?
the rest. Sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We will be, I believe, bringing Wes Nakagiri.
Yeah, is he calling in?
Yes, live from
From
the
the
convention
hope so.
floor.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and give him a heads up that we will be calling him inside 10 minutes
Inside.
because the break is going to be short. It's about 7. So let me
Is it
head
off?
to a man cave. No, it's not off. People aren't supposed to
sorry.
be getting out of their chairs.
I know,
What is this,
right?
a
I don't
professional
know.
production
I'm
pad?
new.
Holy fuck. All right. Well, all right. I guess I'll hit a button.
Now are we off?
No, not even
Oh.
close.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm not following direction very well.
Oops.
Oh, am I not supposed to turn it off?
No, I almost hit
You
the wrong
mean-
button.
Oh.
I got thrown by people walking around.
I need a pillow. My ass.
And I don't
You
have
get a
any
bum chair
audio
and a
on
bad-
this break.
I got bad legs,
Can you hear
bad
anything?
attitude, everything.
Can you hear anything?
I
No, I'm talking
had-
to Tim.
We can hear you. It's just the problem is that we have I had a power outage so that I've lost.
Yeah, we lost power like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
really?
I have
Right?
no
With the
I have no
storm.
audio in this break,
Uh-oh.
Tiffany's melting.
so I have to
down.
reset the.
About what?
Me?
Sleuth mama.
That's Tiffany?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
To the
This
bank.
is-
Okay.
All right, somebody
She
mute all the
needs to
mics,
calm
please.
What?
Thank you. Push all the buttons at once. Check 2. Why do I still hear myself? Who is Sleuth Mama?
There's a conspiracy out right now that says that they tried to let it happen. That Secret Service let it happen.
Take this to the bank, okay? That person was allowed to scale that roof.
Look, they're all pointing. Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look. There he is right there. Right there, see him? He's laying down. See him?
Yeah, he's laying down.
We noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
A rifle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle.
Yeah, look. There he is.
Because we have millions and millions of people in our country that should be here. Dangerous people. Criminals. We have criminals. We have drug dealers. We have people that should not be here.
on the roof.
Next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for 2-3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
New video shows the moments before shots were fired, with witnesses screaming that a man has a gun, followed by rapid gunfire breaking out with Donald Trump speaking during the rally.
Get over here!
And the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on. You know, we're like, hey, right here on the roof, we can see him from right here. We see him. You know, he's crawling.
I was up at the fence line, saw the guy move from roof to roof.
It's shocking to me that nobody took action while Trump is speaking here, and the shooter somehow shot Trump before this guy reacted.
Regular people spot this guy. You're telling me the Secret Service sharpshooters didn't spot this guy? They have binoculars, they have drone coverage.
You're telling me this guy was able to walk up with a rifle in his hand and scale a roof, and you don't think the Secret Service, and let me tell you, they get there days before. Let me tell you how a security apparatus is supposed to run. Days before, they get in and they look at every possible angle in which somebody could hurt the president.
Where the hell was the aerial visual support? Why was there no helicopter? Why was there no drone? Why was there no FLIR? Why was there no thermal, forward-looking infrared? How the hell is the crowd acting as the freaking counter surveillance operation?
I know, if that's the best asset you have is random Trump supporters telling police that there's a guy with a gun.
These guys were on the roof next to Trump, and they're looking directly at where that building is. And they missed it, even though there's people screaming and yelling, and they don't go code red, get the president down. They do.
And that's their whole training. Their whole training is to be scanning for any danger.
So everybody needs to get it through their head that the deep state tried to kill Trump, and they knew who this guy was, and they said he was a major threat, and they knew he was in the town, and then they sit there for minutes while everybody sees this guy on the roof with a gun.
For our radio listeners, they're actually filming this guy climbing on the roof. They're zooming in on him. They're pointing at him. They're yelling at the police. And there's like dozens of people. That video ends.
If they could ever put
the main feed.
shot that I love so much. You don't mind if I go off?
That was a minute. So for a full minute, this guy's been climbing on the roof with his rifle in full view of everybody, including law enforcement.
Wow.
Heard that there was somebody that could see the person. So I went back to where they were standing, saw the person, went back and told the officer again that if he goes back to that particular spot, he can see the person, figuring that he would go on radio. And when I turned around to go back to where I was is when the gunshots started.
When I was sitting there, a guy said, "Oh God, he had a gun." I looked up, there's a guy on top of the building right over there with an M16 with a blanket pointing at the president.
It's been practically 2 minutes, been a full 2 minutes since they first started filming this guy. We're now looking at 3 different videos. Running towards the shooter, running around, trying to get attention, and there's the shot. A full 2 minutes of warning. And the shots ring out. And you can see the various responses from different angles.
This was a stand down, and these people need to be interrogated. All right? Who gave them the orders? Who told them that? This is Biden's Secret Service.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service.
We were telling the police. We were pointing at him for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
It looks like that the Secret Service person, whoever that is, I don't know if they're unprepared. I don't know if they got caught off guard, but it looks like this was 100% preventable.
Everything I hear coming out of Pennsylvania raises more questions than it does answers.
My question is, there's only a few buildings around here. Why is Secret Service not at every building here?
Well, there's a whole bunch of questions I think that are going to come.
There's a whole bunch of questions.
This is my brain.
Mike's on.
There you go, Larry. There you go. Just make let's very like where there we go. All the sounds back, so Larry did not freak out more. Look back, Larry. We're here.
I don't have to worry about you grabbing it.
Okay.
We're here now.
Let's get me into the mix. I'm just sitting here on quiet.
Yeah. All right, we're back on the air. Guys, I'm going to say this. You tune into my show. I like to have conversations with people. You get bitchy and mean in the chat. From now on, I'm not even going to entertain it. I'm just not doing it. I want to have a conversation with people and be able to talk to them and hear their side of the story without judgment.
There we go.
And that's the problem. Is you didn't listen to their side of the story without judgment. I have a problem with that. I will give everybody the benefit of the doubt to a certain extent. I will listen to their, you know why? Because it's the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain an idea without embracing it.
Yep.
If you are educated and you are balanced within yourself, you can at least hear somebody out without assuming and labeling. I apologize for the open mic, but I don't disagree with the sentiment that was said. What was happening in chat was not professional. It was not humble. It was not honorable to the people sitting at this table who do this publicly, show in and show out. Michelle Blondeel requested to come on the show to share her side of her position on all of this stuff for a volunteer position on the school board. Unacceptable.
3 minutes to Wes.
3 minutes to Wes. Wes is coming on. We're going to move on from this. I thank Michelle very much for coming on, as much as it pains me now after having gone down the road of people being all pissed off in the chat and stuff. God, fucking, come on. This is why the left beats us all the time and has fucking policies in our schools that we don't like, because we can't sit down at a fucking table and not be keyboard warriors trashing each other.
Yep.
You can't get, come on. This is why they fucking win. Because we can't find common ground within our conservative values and understand why somebody might have voted a certain way that we might have disagreed with. We just got to attack each other.
It's one vote. Move on.
You had a problem?
Yeah.
With Michelle's, the last few things on the proposal.
I had a problem with a few sentences, not the whole thing, and I never trashed her.
I got people straight up in the chat. I got people straight up in the chat saying she's a liar.
And
she's a liar. And now I'm a liar. Now I'm a liar, and I'm covering for her. I'm a liar. I'm a liar now, Larry, because I listened to somebody share their opinion and try to explain it.
They didn't say you're a liar. They didn't say you're a liar.
You
did a liar lover.
Well, I'll let you read my private conversation that I got on my phone.
I'm just saying nobody. Everybody.
Is she still muted?
She was banned. She was banned.
Oh, I just muted her.
No, I
for
banned
5
her.
minutes to give her.
No, I banned her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, I've got to calm down. That's why we took a little bit extra coming out of the break, because this is the one thing that I don't like. Tim and I have had these discussions.
Show being hijacked.
Show being hijacked and having a lot of anxiety. If you want to come on and share your opinion on the show and be like that, then come on the show and share your opinion like that. Don't be a keyboard fucking warrior and hide behind that. You want to come on the show? Come on the show. You want to have a debate with people? I may allow that, but I don't even like debates, because you know what? People don't know how to do debates properly. I was trained in debate. I know how to do debate. We establish terms, we agree upon the subjects to be discussed, and then we debate. And we're not trying to better each other and belittle each other. We're trying to come to a consensus under agreement based on the terminologies and the understandings. I don't like fighting with people. So when you fight with me, I get pissed off because I want to be at peace with you. And most of the people in the chat are all my friends.
Except
all
for
my
that
friends.
One cat dude. He's freaking.
And yet we can't come to a consensus. And you wonder why we have transgender, an issue of transgender in the bathroom is because we're over here fighting and quibbling with each other on how we're going to write up the policy that we didn't want in the first fucking place. You didn't do this right. Well, then step up and do the fucking job. Well, I am. Okay. Well, when you get in there, you'll realize how fucking tough it is, and that you're not going to be able to just walk in there and stomp your feet around and have your way. You're going to end up being marginalized and pushed aside just like everybody else. And you're going to have to figure out how to fight your battle in your space. But attacking other people is one of the weakest fucking things you can do. And I can't stand it. And I'm even right now technically attacking people in the chat. And I don't want to fucking do that. Stop it.
I think that was a personal thing between somebody that was on the chat and Michelle.
Exactly. And it was played out, one person being a keyboard warrior while the other person, his face is on the camera and voice is being heard over it.
Try one of these. They're pretty good.
You don't fucking do that in the public chat when you're not here to back up your shit.
But that's the way the left.
You don't fucking do it.
That's the way they do it. They hide behind a keyboard. It's easy for them to sit back and make innuendos and attack you with one-line bullshit things, and then you have to go through a lengthy dissertation to prove them wrong, and then they come back with the one-line thing. And I, ever since what happened with Donald Trump on Saturday, I've always stepped away and been politically correct. I will no longer do that. I will take them to the mat. I will go the length, and I will blow them up constantly. I don't care anymore. I'm done. I'm done being a nice guy. I'm done.
Right. We pull up Wes.
If I have to, I'll drive over to their house and have a confrontation face
Well,
to face.
this is the problem, is that scripture says if you have a problem with somebody, you talk to them one-on-one.
Yeah.
Then if they don't listen, you go to them with another person.
Right.
Then if they don't listen, you bring it before the congregation. And I watched continually
it's been 5
people on a regular basis, not going to people one-on-one, not sitting down with them and having a coffee with them, but attacking them publicly while they stay in the shadows.
Right.
Unfucking acceptable. All right, Wes, what do you got?
No, I have to call him. I said 3 minutes. You guys went for 5.
Sorry, Tim. I'm still trying to process the bullshit that happened.
All right, we're going to try to get him. It's ringing.
It's ringing. I hear it ringing. We're trying to get Wes Nakagiri here.
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Wes.
How we doing?
You know what? We're recovering.
You know what? I need
We're in recovery.
I need a picture of Wes to put on the screen.
You do.
I didn't grab one.
You do.
I'm going to go to his Facebook page maybe.
Wes, where are you? Give us a dissertation. Where are you at, and what are you up to, buddy?
I am at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. I'm currently outside the building because it's too loud. You know, I tried to find a quiet place inside the building, but it's too loud. So
Well, the tech department thanks you.
Thank you, Wes. We appreciate that. Your audio is coming in crystal clear. So you want to give us an update of what you're seeing there? We've watched a few of the things. Obviously, we're not watching tonight while we're doing the show, but what's first and foremost on your mind and in your vision that you're seeing there at the RNC with President Trump being acknowledged as what we already knew, the candidate?
Yeah, no, I think probably the biggest thing is the degree of enthusiasm for President Trump, and you know, it's quite different than, you know, I was also a delegate to the 2016 National Convention where Trump was first nominated, you know, for his first term. That was, you know, I would say contested. It wasn't, the outcome wasn't known prior to the start of the convention, and there were, you know, I'll say, you know, heated discussion, you know, who should be who's the best person to lead the party, but all that stuff is, you know, that's not there this time. You know, it's
it was pretty settled.
Yeah, it was settled. You know, I haven't seen the official vote count, but I could be off by a little bit here, but I think Trump got a total of 2,300 delegate votes out of maybe 2,500. So it's he
give those numbers again to us, Wes. Those numbers again.
What was that?
Your numbers again. What you just said. 2,500 out of
delegates.
Delegates. How many were the delegates for Trump? I'm just surprised that that it wasn't unanimous on the delegates.
He said it was 2,300 out of 2,500 voters.
Okay, so about 200 people. Is that your assessment, Wes?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need to. I mean, we need like the left to round up those 200 and beat them, right? No, that's not what we're doing. That's not how we operate. So,
funny.
but that is, do you know historically in the past, the amount of, I mean, what's 2,300 out of 2,500, that's a high percentage. That's that's got to be 92.
Yeah.
So is that typical? I don't remember what Trump got in 2020 or 2016.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember one way or another, but 2,300 out of 2,500 is about 92%. So it's, I would take 92%.
Absolutely. 100. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what else do you see in there, Wes? You're talking about the energy there. We've watched from afar, and we had a little bit of a discussion during dinner that some of the energy of some of the speakers there was not.
There's quite an array of speakers.
Okay. So we didn't see a lot of enthusiasm from some of the speakers, but you're saying that the enthusiasm.
I didn't hear the whole question.
Oh, I was just saying that the enthusiasm for Trump is huge, because we've seen a little bit of a lack of enthusiasm from some of the speakers. Did you hear that?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I would say some of the speakers did better than others. In fact, I was listening, I'll say carefully to make my own assessment on which, speakers did better than others. And, the ones that did better in my assessment were the ones that presented a more of an aspirational message, a message of I'll say rags to riches, that you can make it here in America, no matter what your upbringing is, what your surroundings are, that everybody has an opportunity. And that message, resonated, in my view, the best with the audience based on applause.
Okay. Very good.
But when some of the speakers, they would, I'll say, rattle off facts and figures, and those people that if you want to attract people's attention, you need to weave those facts and figures into a story, which the Democrats have historically done a better job of that than Republicans, in my view. And
right,
but
they're telling a tale. They're giving you a good story with the facts peppered in. So that makes sense.
Yes, yeah. So that was the perspective of somebody who was listening, specifically to say, well, who did better, and why do I think they did better? In terms of connecting with the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. Any highlights that you see? Any of the speakers that were more animated or had good stories to tell within the midst of information that they're trying to convey to the people? Any dynamics from that?
Yeah, I would say one that sticks out in my mind is a young lady named Amber Rose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know much about her, but I think she's a social media influencer. Might be
and not a right wing, definitely not a right wing social media influencer.
That is correct. Yes, and she her father is a big Trump fan. And so she had, disagreements, with her father on, who to vote for.
Mm-hmm.
And what she conveyed was that her father said, you have to see it for yourself. You have to do your own investigation. You can't just listen to your friends.
Right.
You can't just listen to the media. And you have to do your own research. And she did. And she found out that she was being misled. I'll say lied to, especially by the media.
Mm-hmm.
It's saying Trump's a racist and all this and that. And her own research, she concluded otherwise. And then she got a chance to actually meet Donald Trump, and totally different than how the media portrays him. And so that was an eye opener for her. And that's why she's, supporting, and I think she's actually endorsing Trump. And
I think she did in her speech.
Is that the lady that has the tattoo?
The tattoo on her head, yeah. Yeah. Amber Rose.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought I remember. So Wes, with what's going on there, I imagine inside it's pretty eventful, but what's going on outside? Is there any protests going on? Any liberals out there?
I haven't seen any personally. I haven't, but I have read about a protest that was described in the story that I read as very small and not very effective. It certainly didn't, it didn't affect the convention. And like I said, I didn't see anything. It's different. When I was in Cleveland in 2016, I actually saw some protests that we're on the large side, but I would say the ones here or the one here was pretty weak. So.
Okay. Big question, Wes. Obviously, we all saw what transpired in Pennsylvania on Saturday with Trump and the attempted assassination. How has that, in your opinion or your observation,
Kelly,
changed the dynamic there at the convention? Do you see it having an effect, or is it no effect? That's the first question. And then the second question is, if there is an effect, how much of an effect has this attempted assassination had on the temperature in the room? And obviously Donald Trump being there, I saw him last night walking in with the bandage over his ear, not trying to not trying to bring attention to it, but obviously having to put that on his ear. What are you seeing in that regard as the assassination attempt on Saturday transpired, and now you're there at the convention?
Yeah, I would say that the people I've talked to, and there's a lot of people here, so I certainly can't say I talked to everybody and far from everybody, but no, I think my description is that it is made people more resolute, to work harder on behalf of Trump to get him in there, because they, everybody here loves Trump, because Trump is a America First guy. Mm-hmm. He is advocating for the middle class people, the regular Americans. He's not in it for I'll say the elites, and he's very much beloved, and the shooting is made everybody even more resolute.
So seeing more, and that's what we're perceiving. But I wanted to know, with you being on the ground there, that just more people are rallying to him. I mean, the amount of people that I'm seeing on X, the more people I'm seeing, even on Facebook, but more on X, and the things are being sent to the show. They're talking about it, where people are just more and more saying, you know what, I wasn't fully convinced, but now 100% I'm for Trump, because they just tried to take him out, and that could happen to any of us if he's not brought back in.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. What else are you seeing? It's a lot of, you're there for, what's this? This goes Monday through Thursday, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And Thursday is going to culminate in Trump giving his full acceptance speech when he's there. Is that when he's planning to be on?
Yeah, that Thursday he'll have his acceptance speech, and there'll be other speakers. The day is filled with on Monday there were 2 convention sessions. There was one in the morning to early afternoon, and then one towards the evening. And then today there was one session of about, that would have been about, 4 or 5 hours. It's, those sessions are, the first day was the roll call of the states, counting the votes.
Okay.
So more technical stuff. Then there were speeches from, various political figures during the course of the day. Today is I'll say solid speeches. For 5 hours. There was, Mike Rogers spoke today. He's running for Senate in Michigan. Carrie Lake spoke today.
I caught a bit of that. I caught a bit of Carrie Lake. Yeah, she's good.
Yeah. She lights up the crowd. That's for sure.
She's one of the ones that gets everybody excited.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So Wes, you're there on the ground. What we're seeing in the evenings when Right Side Broadcast or President Trump's own feed is put out there, or many of the other feeds that are covering this, they're doing a lot of this stuff in the evening. Lee Greenwood's up there singing, and we've got different speakers coming up. But give us a little bit. You've already alluded to it, but you're working actually through the day on a number of procedural things, a number of votes that you guys need to do. And it's an honor for you, being one of our commissioners here from Livingston County, to be a delegate to the national convention and have that vote there. What can you describe to us a little bit more about what it means to be on the floor there throughout the day versus I don't want to minimize it, but the pomp and circumstance of the evenings kind of become the focal point when actually you guys are doing a bunch of day-to-day work. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, well, a lot of work on day one, in both sessions that occurred in day one. You had votes on, what to accept the new Republican Party platform. The platform went from 64 pages, the last platform, to 16 pages. And so there was a little bit of controversy there.
Okay.
But,
wow.
I read through the platform as I'm sitting on the convention floor, and I think they did, the RNC, the Republican National Committee, did a nice job of streamlining the platform. The things got left out, details, that were in other platforms, but, it's the platform, in my view, is now more of a marketing document. It kind of gives the outline, what the party stands for, not every last detail where people's eyes glaze over, they'll never read.
They're seeing the procedure
pages.
and yeah.
So that was, approved by a significant margin. It was a voice vote, and so I don't have a vote count, but there was, just a smattering of nays, and everybody else was voting in favor of it. So there were a vote on some rules, technical things, rules wise. That all occurred on Monday. Today was listening to the various Republican Party candidates, dignitaries, and but also they have sessions that are earlier in the day that for example, Turning Point USA is here. I think they had some I don't know, let's call it training sessions, if you will. There's exhibits from various conservative vendors. The United States Concealed Carry Association was here, and there was there was a place that I spoke to for conservative campaigns, for voter data and credit card processing, kind of technical stuff for a campaign. There's those types of things. The Heritage Foundation, had a lengthy session. Republican National Lawyers Association.
And this is stuff that's during the day.
Yes, during the day.
So not the speeches that we're seeing tonight. This is during the day. You're actually getting some education from these groups, various groups, conservative groups that are coming in. Heritage Foundation. What was the gun one you just said? Wasn't the NRA? What'd you say?
United States Concealed Carry.
Concealed Carry, yeah. So
Nice.
they're coming in and trying to educate the delegates, because you guys are going to come back to your respective places in the country and then disseminate that information to them, so they feel it's important to give these presentations.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you notice, Wes, that there was Tim was wondering, and we're wondering at the table, did you notice any heightened security? Obviously, this is inside of a stadium there in Wisconsin.
Metal detectors, pat downs.
Yeah, we're not wide open like it was in Pennsylvania, but did you notice any heightened dynamics of security as you're moving around? This is only day 2. as you're moving around? Are you notice any heightened security beyond some other events that you've attended, or is it pretty?
No, so this is the third national convention that I've attended, and I would say the security is approximately the same. You know, I don't see any significant, you know, nothing catches my eye and say, oh, this is a lot stronger, or oh, this is a lot weaker. No, yeah, it seems to be about the same.
Well, that would speak a lot to the lack of being rattled.
Well, but it also speaks a lot to it being indoors versus outdoors. Obviously, Pennsylvania was.
You were saying the previous conventions you've been to were indoor locations, but this being immediately after an assassination attempt with no increase notable. I mean,
correct.
That we're steely Dan.
Correct. Well, we do have the official word from the Secret Service saying that there would be no increase, that they didn't feel that they bobbled it, which we could disagree with off air. Wes, any final thoughts before we let you go tonight? You're there on the ground enjoying the RNC. What are you anticipating, or what are you observing, or any final thoughts that you have? Just we appreciate you jumping on here and sharing with us as you're on the ground there in Wisconsin. You're taking time out from whoever's speaking right now.
Yeah. It's truly an honor to attend on behalf of.
He dropped out. Did we lose you, Wes?
And,
you're back.
No,
we lost you for a second
exciting
there, Wes. Yeah, go ahead.
Time to. Okay. Yeah, it's exciting time to be here. It's an important time in history, and like I said, it's an honor to be here. So.
Well, we appreciate it so much, Wes, for you jumping on with us tonight and taking time out of the speeches tonight, which I know are pretty exciting at times to be a part of. So we appreciate that. Feel free to cut in and give us an update. I'll go live if we need to in the next couple of days if you want to jump in. And we really appreciate all the work that you do here as a county commissioner in Livingston County. We also appreciate you being there on the ground, being elected to be a delegate in the national convention. That's an honor. And we pray for President Trump and everybody there for their safety.
Yeah, got one more question.
Yeah. Tim has one more question.
One more question. Wes, do you think they'll pick Mr. Trump for the nominee?
I thought they already did.
You think?
We already
convention
have.
Oh, you
It's
already
already
have.
done.
Oh, usually a convention is where they finally decide.
Did you want to weigh in at all, Wes, on the JD Vance pick?
Yes, please.
Oh, I think that's a great pick. You know, he's from the Midwest. You know, I think his life experiences. He understands working class Americans that work in not only Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan. In fact, there's going to be the first rally with Trump and JD Vance in Grand Rapids on Saturday.
Really?
So yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good place to be.
Yeah, and so I think he's excellent. I've seen video clips of JD Vance going toe to toe with the corrupt media. He does a great job. He really does. He doesn't give an inch, and he's not. He's a fighter, and just like Trump. So
awesome. Always a pleasure having you on, Wes. When you get back into town, we need to get a full debriefing on the show. Have you in as a guest and get your insights and your total observations. You're only there on day 2 there at the RNC, the National Republican Convention. And we appreciate you so much calling into the show and giving us some insights. We will catch up with you later, my friend.
Okay. All right. Thanks very much.
All right. Thanks, Wes.
Thank you, Wes. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Wes.
Hey, our call-in show works.
Our call-in show works.
Wow.
Right. Holy cow. What am I seeing?
That's Trump's plane. It's one of the snipers in Detroit.
Oh, right. All of the fireworks aside from earlier in the show, I will ask that all of our audience out there pray for Trump, President Trump, and pray for many of the conservative leaders out there in politics and in the media.
Yeah, you know, one of the biggest things I give thanks for is the fact that the would-be assassin sucks when it comes
you know what?
being a shooter. And I think that is a blessing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We had some more revelations about some of the assassination attempts. I listened to Dan Bongino, who was a former Secret Service agent, talking about, and Coffee sent me some stuff. Mr. Coffee sent me some stuff about.
Played a piece at the break.
Was it Dan Bongino?
That might have covered some of that.
I listened to the first half, and then I was.
Is he still on the air, Dan Bongino?
Yeah.
Dude, he had the highest. He just had the highest Rumble numbers that Rumble's ever had for one individual.
Oh well, I meant radio.
No,
He used to be on radio.
They tried to shoehorn him into Rush's old slot on the EIB network. Didn't work because Bongino's not that guy.
Right.
He's like us, like you, Larry, like in a cuss a lot. So he did
an asshole. I thought I always liked Bongino.
No, he's great.
An asshole?
But he gets on there and he's like, listen, these fucking guys, they shouldn't have done that. I can't believe this shit. You know, so just like us at the show. Anyways, that doesn't work for terrestrial radio as easily.
Yeah, right.
But one of the things
I sent you that interview that retired Secret Service guy.
Yes,
I sent
yes.
it up there.
And for the sake of time, we're not going to be able to play everything, but
I just thought that was very pertinent.
I did like this photo. I did like this photo.
Yeah.
Let's see if my things work. Yeah, that works.
Right. Why were they giving her such a fit? Just the fact that
because she couldn't holster her weapon.
Well, okay. Yeah.
She tried a couple times.
She tried.
And couldn't holster
when
her
you watch
weapon.
the video and you try a couple
saw
times
it.
to
I
holster
saw
it.
it.
Yeah, and I think it's somewhat relevant to tonight. We're pointing out something that we disagree with.
Yeah.
But then going overboard on it.
Yeah. I would say
I don't think she's a horrible person, but I will say this. What is her height?
Like 5'4".
Yeah.
5'4".
And
The
What's
average-
Donald Trump's height?
He's almost
Something.
6 foot.
You're
He's
not
almost
going to
6
protect somebody unless he's crouching like a Neanderthal and walking beside
yeah,
you.
and he
No.
stood up to pump his fist.
If you were
Exactly.
watching last night, I was watching when Trump walked in to the building.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And if you watch the shooting, I was watching it live. The average size of a woman is 5'4". Okay.
Correct.
So let's just say they're about 5'4", 5'5". The whole job of the Secret Service is to be a bodyguard, to protect. You notice that the big guys jumped on him and such?
Yeah.
Okay. Last night, when he came walking out of the tunnel,
There was not a single girl.
There was like 15 giant Secret Service guys around him,
Exactly.
towering over him, where you couldn't get a headshot if they were this hot. you know?
Right.
And there's nothing against. There's badass women out there, blah blah blah. But you can't be 5'4" and protect the top part of a 6 foot guy. You can't do it.
Yeah.
There's
You know
7 inches
and,
different.
and he's using the term protect, but we gotta say this right now. I listened to Bongino and listened to a couple other interviews with former Secret Service people. You're not a body. You're not protecting. You're not a bodyguard. You are the recipient of the bullet.
Right.
You are the one
but
putting
you're guarding his body with your body, and you can't with a smaller body.
But I'm saying, I'm agreeing
My
with you.
skinny ass can't protect Larry.
Correct.
I got to be a little bit wider, maybe
Correct.
taller than Larry, because
And that's what
Larry's
we're-
bigger and taller than me.
Correct, and that's what we're saying. But I'm moving it out of those terminology of, as a bodyguard. Okay, what part of my body? Because you can't cover me.
The whole point of Secret Service is to take a bullet.
Take a bullet and be bigger than
Yeah,
the
did you
target.
see what happened after how they all dove on him?
Yeah.
And he had 10 people all around him. He had to push him out of the way and say, wait.
Well, it's cool.
Well, on the thing, it says that on the thing when he went down, he didn't fall out of his shoes. His shoes came off when he got tackled by his Secret Service.
He's
And
wearing
their
a
job is
loafer,
to tackle him and cover him.
Right, and that's what they were
he
doing.
knows that while they're protected. Like, look, I may hurt you while I'm doing everything I can to protect your life.
Right.
He knows that because as soon as he was hit in the ear, he instinctively dropped.
Yeah.
One of the things I will say is that Dan Bongino pointed out that there is no stand down order for the 3 minutes. Now, there's a lot of evidence that's come out for a sniper team. Sniper teams have authorization in those situations that they see somebody, they have automatic authorization. Now, that's just
what I
one.
was trying to show you is I'm related to a sniper.
Go ahead,
for
Kelly.
that detail.
You are?
That was a picture of him last time he came into town.
Oh,
that was what
am I
I
allowed
was
to
showing you. Not his face. I
Okay,
don't want to
yeah,
show
yeah.
his face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got that picture from the airport. Trump's he was up
Yeah.
in position.
Correct.
They hadn't gotten off yet, so he
Go ahead,
snapped a picture.
Kelly, I'll just blur his face in post.
Well, we don't want to do it live either, Tim.
No.
So
No.
we already had a hot mic
That's
that
a
stirred up
family member.
a ton of shit that I'm gonna have to deal with the rest of the fucking week.
Oh,
But
sorry.
Wait, I wanted to say one statement before we move off this chick that was apparently getting lambasted for her skills. Okay.
She should have been with Jill.
Wait, no, hold on. You know, how many times did she practice reholstering her gun during an attempted assassination? She
Well,
didn't
here-
get her nerves.
Okay, but here's the thing.
The moment.
I understand
the
what you're-
reality.
I understand what you're saying.
The estrogen.
But everybody that I've heard talking about Secret Service is you're trained for this particular thing
right
all your life. If you're Secret
Right.
Service, you are trained continually, constantly for that moment.
Yeah, and my question in that moment, I watched that, by the way, her attempt to reholster, is I could hear her brain saying, what the fuck am I supposed to do next? What am I doing now? What's going on now? Okay, wait, am I supposed to, what's going on? She was flustered.
And that's the problem.
That's
it's not,
not
the
okay.
holstering. It's not the
That's not a
holstering that's
good
the
thing.
problem. It's the fact that you saw her try to holster and then look around and hesitate
sorry,
and
I'm
pull
not-
her gun back to here to
You know
ready
why?
position
You know why?
and look around and then holster.
You know why?
No.
Because women's minds are spaghetti. Men's minds.
Oh, stop. You're
No,
trying
I'm
to
serious. She was thinking of 17 things where a man in that position for defense.
Do I
would
need
have
to
been-
kill or not kill?
One. Yes, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
I don't think women should be in a position of protecting men, period.
Thank you
So,
that the woman at the table said that to protect my point.
Thank you, Kelly.
that's how I feel. I don't think a woman should ever be in a position to protect men.
Right.
I protect my husband, but in different ways.
Yeah.
And the reality is that the man's God ordained position is to be a protector.
Mhm.
And therefore
I feel safer.
correct. We don't
Yeah.
unless you're a fucked up country that wants to dress men in dresses, we don't send our women to war.
You know that
Well, we're going to now because the girls are going to
I
have
know
to
it,
start
I know
signing
it,
up
Ron.
for
Sent women
selective
to
service
war for years, and
as
I've,
nurses.
Well,
I've
and
opposed
doctors.
it for years. No.
Yeah, well, there's
I
a
was-
difference
I
between
was
being
in
the
an
OS.
engineer unit, and I was in a tank battalion, and we had women.
Well, there's a,
and I opposed it.
and
at
I
both
understand
ends.
that. I am not opposed to because our women are phenomenal nurturers, and to be in a rear position and recovering from being, being shot or whatever it is, that's 100%. To
You
have the
know-
nurse corps being there, to have it wasn't the OSS. What was it called?
They were so important and
The-
necessary.
Is phenomenal. But
The
to have our women
women's
on
auxiliary
the battlefront on the front lines, unacceptable.
there's a few years ago we lowered some standards, and some of the guys on the vet show could probably speak better to this, but we lowered the standards and we put I think 25 women completed ranger training. Okay, which was great, but they had to lower some standards for ranger training, but they never saw the front lines. And there's a reason for this, that if us four guys are on the front line and Larry runs out a little bit and gets shot and starts screaming, we're more apt to
You can
sit
carry
and
him
think
back.
and for a second and
Correct.
go, all right, wait, let's not run out there. If Kelly was with us and she runs out there and gets hit and screaming, it'll be our natural instincts for when a female
The
is screaming
whole company.
to just run and
she'll
try to
be
get, and they will
fine.
kill us. So there's
The
a
whole
reason
company.
why they don't put
Right.
them on the front
That's
line.
why terrorists use children
Exactly.
and women
Yes.
when they create
Yes.
the
Correct.
terrorist attacks.
Yeah,
because
they
we are
will
vulnerable.
injure the most vulnerable among us in order to draw the rest in.
That's true.
Yeah.
Although I've had two ex-fiancées, I'd probably say she'll be okay.
I mean, I'll shoot.
That's why you're
I'll shoot
single,
with
Tim.
anybody.
That's why I'm single.
I'll fight too, but
Yeah.
I'd rather not be the front line.
I got a
just
good idea.
complaining.
They get battalions of women because women will change their cycles, right? If you put them
always
together.
scares-
Wait,
he always
you
scares
put
me when he
this
says he had a good
battalion over here, put them over there, these women, all women here, and these women here, and these women here, these 4 battalions, and you get them all on the same cycle, different cycles, and these go into battle in fuck up everybody, and they pull them out. When these go into cycle, you throw them in there, they fuck up everybody, move them out, and then you just can fight wars like that.
Yes.
What would be the code
Because
name?
that is a fact.
Code name
Women
for that
will
tree.
change their cycles,
And the
it's-
premenopausal women you put out all the time.
Oh my God.
All the time.
and the guys can sit back and cook. Fuck it.
There you go.
I mean, within what
We
four,
solved it.
within 4 weeks of being in the barracks, they'll all sync up their cycles. So
That's
I mean,
it, right.
It'll be like,
That's
oh,
when you kick in the
Wait,
perimenopausal.
what do you call
Menopausals?
No. What do you call it?
tampons and guns. Tampons and guns.
I do know
Kelly,
for
what do you call it? The visiting,
God,
visiting
that'd be a
aunt.
t-shirt.
Visiting aunt
That's
corps.
a t-shirt.
I call
there.
mine Shark Week.
Well, no, the visiting aunt. No, they used to call it. My aunt is visiting this week.
I've never
Aunt
said
Flo,
Aunt
Aunt
Flo.
Kelly
Flo.
calls it
Aunt
Shark
Flo.
Week. I love
Shark
that.
Week.
I grew up on Discovery Channel.
Aunt Flo.
we were the first squadron, we got a squad of female first
Not a
security
squad.
specialists.
Not a squadron.
Our flight got
A squadron.
11 or 9 or something girls fresh out of combat training or whatever, the first Air Force,
PMS unit.
and we had them, and within we had to put men and girls and men, young teenagers, whatever, early 20s together out in listening posts and bunkers and such. And
That's how you get
within
pregnant.
about 6 months' time,
Mhm.
I think, I can't remember, 6, 7 or whatever were on desk duty because they were pregnant.
Yeah,
300
that's how
You
get
put
pregnant.
an ugly guy with a guy and a chick way the hell out in a listening post in the dark in a bunker. What do you think's going to happen?
Far away from home.
Far away from home, and they're
Hormonal.
young and everything's rolling,
It's
the
a
hormones.
thing.
It's going to happen. So now we're short 9 bodies.
Because they're pregnant.
With
And that's, we were the first trial flight and squad.
The PMS
I
unit.
told you we were the first integrated flight. My flight.
Oh, I
was
can't believe they
the
got
first
them
integrated
in the
flight.
barracks and
We were
shit.
right in the barracks together.
I don't get, well,
It takes on another meaning. All respect.
That was
All due
98.
respect. It takes on another meaning going,
wow.
Sarge, I'm bleeding.
Yes.
Do you need a tourniquet or a tampon?
Yeah.
Either will do.
Either one will do.
Actually, when shot,
The
either
PMS.
one could do.
Yeah, well, when I was in, the men had the barracks like it was a building that, that was like 60 by 40 with rows of bunk beds.
Right.
That's
And
what ours were.
then the women had chateaus.
What?
Oh,
What?
they did. They
What
had
branch? Navy?
Army.
Army?
Yeah, the women. Yeah, I when I first got to Fort Hood, Texas, one of the things I met this girl from Maine, and
There's no Eon come, Studebaker.
That's that, dude. Get the fuck out of my head.
She took me back to
Yeah.
her chateau. She had a 2-bedroom apartment to herself.
Literally
Dang.
thought it. You
She
said it.
full kitchen.
I was in a room
And-
with 40 bunks.
And Larry's an
Foot
expert
lockers.
on this, having wearing the Biden-Harris hat tonight.
Yes.
What does that say, Larry?
Oh, Larry,
pee
Larry,
pads
Larry,
and knee
stand up,
pads.
stand up, Larry,
Stand up, Larry. He's good.
stand
Should
up.
I turn around?
Yeah,
No.
yes, stand up,
Right
turn around, and we'll
Oh,
put
yeah.
you in the wall. Put you in the wall cam.
Back up just a
There we
hair.
go. No, that's good. Right there. There you go.
Yeah.
Underneath it says.
Biden-Harris.
Underneath it then says, pee pads and knee pads.
Yeah.
Yep, got it.
Yeah. Because, we know what's going on there. Here's a theory that came across, and I want to discuss this for just a minute before we get to. We're going to have to get to some final thoughts because I got the Alphabet Mafia is opposing California SB Senate Bill 1414.
Oh,
SB 1414 would have made harsher punishments for a bunch of pedophiles touching kids. And the Alphabet Mafia said, that's discriminatory. Well, stop diddling kids.
Yeah.
That's
if
a simple
your
solution.
defense.
It's a simple solution. Stop diddling
As a
kids.
matter of fact, I think they should increase the penalties to
Yeah.
plugging them
Ex-
into the wall. Just
I like the execution. Yeah. The quote for the night, which we didn't quite get to, but Donald Trump.
no, we didn't get that.
Fight.
Fight.
I did send
Fight,
you.
fight,
He
fight.
was
That's the quote for the night.
pissed when he came back up.
Dude.
He was pissed.
Dude, he was a beast. He's like, let me get my shoes on because you guys tackled me when I was already down.
Yeah. Wait,
All right, I got my shoes on. And he stands up there like, are we ready to move? He goes, no, wait.
Yeah.
Fight.
Yep.
That's I heard that is going on the cover of the next issue of Time magazine.
I certainly hope so.
And I've heard so many pundits, so many in the conservative media, the true media out there say that him with his fist raised after and the blood on his face and the flag above him is the most iconic photo we will ever see in our lifetimes.
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
I just don't know how they do his hair in Rushmore.
It's going to replace
trees on
Yeah.
you know the Marines raising the flag on the hill?
Yeah,
that just got replaced.
They compared it to Iwo Jima flag.
Which was staged, the one we've seen.
Well,
was staged after the original because
well, you say staged, but it was
for the photo.
They raised the first flag.
Staged.
No,
Yes, it was.
I've studied the history. When they went back up, they went to replace the original flag that was raised with a larger flag that had not been shot with bullets.
Right.
And the cameramen knew they were going up there.
Yeah.
Right. And
So it wasn't. So you guys are saying staged, but when you look at the actual history, the cameramen knew that they were going to replace the flag. When we say staged, and the left automatically assumes
for the photo
that they were doing it for the photo op. They didn't do it for the photo op. It was legitimately raising up a new, larger flag in position of the original smaller flag that had been put up when they conquered
So it was an
the hill.
opportunistic.
It was
opportunistic.
It was opportunistic,
Good.
and the cameraman knew.
Okay.
But it wasn't a photo. It wasn't fake.
No,
and it wasn't a photo
It
op.
was like, but he was there and he goes, "Okay, now do it," and I'm all set.
Correct.
And
But
putting
in
it
our-
up. Right.
and the only reason I make that clarification is because in our climate right now, in social media and stuff like that, there are a lot of things that are staged, that are.
You know what's funny is when Trump walked out, he had a nice clean bandage. Nice square, about this big.
Yeah.
On social media and X, they were like, "Oh, well, yesterday was golfing and he didn't have it on there." Okay, well, you got to let the stuff dry, and you don't want to sit there and have a scab. So a nice little white bandage is appropriate than a scab.
But here's two things that or two different places that I heard it today. The photo they used he went golfing.
Yeah.
But the photo they used to say he went golfing was not the photo of him golfing.
But
it was
even
a
if
previous photo.
but
So
even
of course he's not going to have a bandage on his face because that wasn't.
But if you got a little hole in your ear, I mean, ear is very vascular and will bleed if you just pick a lip. But the thing is, whatever. But the thing is, you don't want to come out and people are now looking at a scab. I don't care if it's small or
messed
whatever.
up
So
ear,
you just
right,
put a
right.
nice little white patch
cover.
over there.
Yeah.
Whatever. What's
So
the big
I have
deal?
a question. I don't want to go too far back in our conversation, but
yeah,
we have a population crisis right now with the next generation.
Yep.
Yeah.
We don't have enough.
Right. Correct. We have a population
I'll agree with
crisis,
that.
not have enough.
Yep.
And now the females are being looked at for military inscription. And then we can actually post them out in remote locations with the men. We'll solve our baby boom.
According to what Coffee said, I agree with that 100%.
Either that or just bring back drive-ins.
This is true.
Oh, we need more drive-ins.
We do need more
Drive-ins. I wouldn't shut down that birthing center and how they'd be fucking
There are
rotating.
drive-ins.
No, bring them back to almost every town.
Well, Coffee didn't realize,
There's
and now you
one-
can pipe them into your radios.
There's
You can
one
pipe
in-
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh,
But bring back drive-ins, man.
Who was
Babies would be popping out all over the place.
Who was it? Was it you, Coffee, or who was it? They came in tonight, and Michelle was getting the tour,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Ma, she hadn't been here like in a year and a half
Yeah.
since whenever the last time she was here." And she's like, "Oh," and Larry's giving her the tour, and I said, "Yeah, actually, before I built the whole podcast studio up here and the whole floor,
Yeah.
I still had the garage doors."
Right. Yeah. You told me that.
And I had the screen and had a thing,
Yeah.
and I would open the garage,
Yeah.
I would hit the garage door, and I would drive the truck in here, and then just sit in the truck and turn the screen on, and watch. And she's like, "Oh, like a drive-thru." I'm like, "Yeah, I had my own drive-in theater."
Right. And if you were like 20 years old, you'd probably have, let's see, how are you old now? 52, 51? 51.
Yeah.
You'd have like 16 kids and another 30 grandkids.
His
If you
age
were
has
using
surpassed
this
his
at 20, you
IQ.
just wouldn't have to go to a drive-in. You'd just be there, and 9 months later, down
Speak
at
for
the
yourself,
hospital.
Larry.
9 months later.
Listen,
down-
speaking
9
of
months later, down-
of those who are older and wiser,
Older, wiser.
speaking of those who
In this
are
case,
older,
much older.
older and wiser,
and deeper in debt.
And deeper in debt. No, not deeper in debt. Speaking of those who are older and wiser,
Dude, I got fucking ants crawling over.
President Reagan chimed in on the whole situation.
Oh,
So we got to listen to this for a second.
Did you see that guy who tried to assassinate Donald Trump this afternoon? He looks like a dork, a wimpy little loser who probably hates America. His name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. Anyways, he's a dead guy now. We'll remember our dearly departed Thomas by his incompetence with a firearm. He was 100 feet from the Donald with an AR-15, but he could only hit his ear. You know, I think Thomas studied at the Helen Keller Institute of Marksmanship. I give him an A for effort, but he gets an F for execution. In all seriousness, I know a thing or two about assassination attempts. John Hinckley tried to take me out in 1981. He was a loser too, but he did more damage to me with a .22 caliber pea shooter than this inept dimwit. I went to the emergency room, but they fixed me up. When I got out, I won the Cold War and turned America into the sole superpower on earth. Anyways, Thomas' parents are probably very embarrassed by their now dead moron son. Good night. And God bless America. Did you see that?
You're reminded of the many traditions of openness and democracy that have marked the history of this city.
I did send you a video of the rally after the shooting.
The rally after the shooting?
Yes, footage from the rally after the shooting.
When they started to have like a rager?
Don't know.
A party?
I haven't seen
Is this it?
That's it.
They chanted USA for like 45 minutes. Why are they still ducking?
So there's a lot of anomalies that still happened, and we're still trying to sift it out. While this is playing, I'll tell you guys that one of the things I heard from Dan Bongino was that the angle of the shooter was not so the angle to the stage, the angle from the other roof.
How are they trying to do?
So the claim is that they couldn't see the shooter.
That's what I saw. I saw that footage.
Yeah.
And because of
because he was
one
behind
location,
a little bit of a roof wall.
well, not only that,
wall.
but there was a man. I wonder if I can pull it up. There was a couple huge trees, and then they're in this shot. They're in this shot.
Yeah.
See those trees over the top of that really sharp
Yeah.
hat? Yeah.
So
Those trees
I'm not
were
giving
in between them.
I'm not giving them a pass. I still believe that there was huge malfeasance, if not a coup d'etat, in effect by certain people involved in the Secret Service. But I will tell you this: when you're in those situations, it is not always cut and dry exactly what happens. And Dan Bongino, being a former Secret Service, I listened to him this morning. He was on there from that rooftop location that you're seeing right now on your
really
TV.
steep roof that they're on.
On that steep roof, but that roof is almost parallel with the other roof. And until that shooter pops his head up above to shoot, you can't get at him.
No.
They're showing angles from other locations and saying this is the location they had. But Dan Bongino, who's not going to go on hyperbole, he's going to investigate the facts because he was a former Secret Service agent. He's saying, look, it may have been obscured until he popped his head up. And when he popped his head up, he immediately shot.
Right.
So I'm not discounting that the deep state was behind this. I'm not giving a pass in any way saying that. I'm saying that we can't impugn, just like we can't impugn the entire, we can impugn the entire CIA.
Okay, there's
we
a
can't
map.
impugn the entire FBI.
There's a map in the break
And we
media.
can't-
I'm going to roll the break media. I'm going to scroll through and find the map. And so just bear with me.
Yes, because we're showing a flat map of a roof.
No,
and
I'll show you a
assuming
map.
that where the Secret Service snipers were was automatically.
So there you go. So there you
go
go.
ahead.
There's the map. And as you see on this, stop playing, bitch.
Can I see what I find interesting?
Hold on. Let me show this map real quick. Okay. So the sniper was on this building over here to the left, and this row of trees directly in front of that sniper, and the Secret Service were on this white roof directly behind him, literally where my mouse is circling.
Yeah.
These 3 trees obscured half of that building, where they literally until he and the people were saying, "Oh, look, he's over there." All these people down here where the lower crawl is on our broadcast. That's where all the people were. They could see him from the back side of that roof, and the ladder was set up on this little causeway building here for him to get up on. Whoever put a ladder that was much bigger than could fit in a vehicle next to a building, I don't know. Maybe it was just conveniently laying around.
And again, I want to say this. To you.
That was the area.
Yeah, and I want to say this to you guys, that there's a difference between having 2 or 3 people who are compromised and on the inside,
right,
who allow somebody to set up a ladder while a whole bunch of people are screaming, versus the entire organization trying to take somebody out.
Okay,
And in
can I
fact,
say-
when you have problems in your ranks,
Like
I'm
Kelly, I cut
just
off-
giving
I
you
cut
the
off
benefit
Kelly.
of the doubt,
Can
and
I-
then I want to have a discussion.
I cut off Kelly. Let Kelly go.
Go ahead, Kelly.
Go ahead.
I just find it very interesting that the Biden appointed head of the Secret Service
Is a DEI hire?
worked for the company that employed the actor that played in the commercial. What? Worked for the company that hired the actor that played in the commercial, and the actor was the guy that shot Trump.
What?
What?
Where's this link?
So PepsiCo, what's one of
Because
their?
that was one of the links over top of the little short Secret Service check.
If you do some digging into,
Send it to us. We
how
want. We
things
don't have
are-
all. We don't have all the
You're
information.
saying that this shooter worked for a company.
I am saying that the head of the Secret Service
Yeah.
used to be head of operations for PepsiCo, which is owned by
Right.
a very large
PepsiCo's huge. They own
company.
like
Yes.
Pizza Hut.
Yes.
And, yeah.
Well, I'm talking
Doritos.
about who
Yeah.
owns them.
Right.
Who owns PepsiCo? That company did a financial thing for teachers, no less, commercial, and the child that shot Trump was in that
Allegedly.
commercial. Allegedly, was in that commercial.
Because I've heard 2 names.
I have 2, and I saw a totally different picture, but the kid that was dead on the roof looked just like the kid
Yeah.
they're saying it is. So I don't know for sure, but the child actor in that funded video by this big major financier.
So you're saying the background of the shooter was as an actor at one point?
Yes,
A child
and the
actor?
head of the Secret
Hold on.
Service.
And Johnny Depp was quoted as saying,
When's the
about
last
six-
time?
When's the last
time
an actor
shot a president?
Yeah, well, that
Well,
was
I like to
on
mumble when I talk.
Saturday.
Well, he said it a while ago.
Okay, can I say something?
No, I'm saying it
Yes,
happened
you're
on
next.
Saturday.
Right. Go
But
ahead,
I
Coffee.
just found that interesting.
I find it interesting.
That the head
John
of the
Hinckley
Secret
came up for an
Service-
autograph hours before he finally came in and not
He did
John.
really?
Yeah, shot Lennon.
He got an autograph from him and then shot him?
Who shot Lennon? Not John Hinckley Jr. It was the guy who shot Lennon came up an hour before, got an autograph on an album, and then came back and shot him. Coffee go.
Well, he knew
Okay.
it was going to be worth more later.
Fucking A.
Okay, my specialty, my 81170 security specialist in the United States Air Force. 1982 of May, Reagan came into our base. I was very good shot, and I was stationed at the nose of the plane on a hangar roof, probably 60 feet up, with a sniper team here, another hangar over there. All I know for a fact is there is no possible way. It was 1982, was this 42 years ago?
Don't do that.
There is no possible way, especially with Trump, that any elevated position would be able to see his body. Trump was in a U shape, like take a half of a football field, and all the people around his back, and I hear they're there. They were there, and we're on a base. They were there weeks before, and you know where the fucking people were going to move. They knew where Trump was going to stand
Reagan?
a week before. So they have an X on this floor, and they look and they see the stadium
Somewhat
around
Reagan.
him, and they can go, okay, people are going to be, even if they're sitting, anything above this line, nothing.
You're going to secure it.
It's going to be, I don't care if you got to go out 800 feet and put Boy Scouts with radios, but we have now infrared, we got drones, we got everything, blah, blah, blah. When I was on that roof, my job was approximately the nose of the plane here, 60 feet up on this hangar. Mine was 3 and my senior master sergeant Connor might be watching the show. He was my boss. I was selected to go up with him. I was so close to the sniper team. Now these sniper teams aren't for close range. These guys, they got a 300 Magnum, Winchester Magnum with a Remington 700 bolt or something. I looked it up today. They were dialed in to do sniper that's out 300 yards, not 100. There should have been no way. Anyway, my job was, there was 3 manhole covers. I don't give a shit if they tacked them down or whatever. My job was when the whistle blew and Reagan was coming up. One was probably 60, another were 80 and 100. It was a kill zone. I just sat there when the whistle blew. They said, okay, he's coming. I just watched that. It's a kill zone. Anything right there is fucking dead. These guys, that were next to me, this far away, and I had a suppressor on my brass in case I had to shoot, so they weren't getting burned if they had to do the long range shooting. So Trump is here, guaranteed. If Bongino was here, there was sectors, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. They had 2 shoot teams. Believe me, there should have been no fucking tree.
100%.
These guys are looking out to like 3, they have a
100%.
spotter or whatever, and they got high-powered rifles. There should have been no fucking roof. Anything above his head should have been even allowed or anything. They didn't even have, and they said there was a water tower, if you look on your map, just a little, I don't know, 400 yards away, a water tower. Why didn't they have resources up there? Why didn't they have drones? Why didn't they have Boy Scouts around? There should have been nobody. 100%. And there's kill zones. Anything, and everybody, the Secret Service runs the fucking thing. They don't go, well, you know, I'm blaming the sheriff. So I'm going to blame the cop. No. You fucking telling them no. And you have the cadets for the sheriff department. You put them in the woods 500 yards out with radio. This is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, there's no way this is
ridiculous. When the whistle blew, when Reagan come driving up, I knew that I just fixated there. There's another sniper team, another sharpshooter. We had guys on the backs looking down the hangars, and this is on an Air Force base with security tight anyhow. There was nobody coming close to this fucking place.
Right.
How the fuck is this?
And I get that 100%.
They said 20 minutes before they saw the kid with a rangefinder and they were chasing him around or some shit. What?
100%. 100%. And all I'm saying is that it just takes a couple of people to be compromised to allow a situation like that.
No fuck.
What?
Kelly, I said, get out of my fucking head.
It just takes a couple of people to be compromised.
Like exactly at the same time. Kelly and I responded. Okay, sorry, Coffee. You've been called out as a boomer.
Oh, many times.
Tim and I just
at the same time, I said ageist much.
No, I agree with you 100%. Coffee.
See this rifle?
Yeah,
I looked this up today. This is what they were using. I guess I sent that to me, and you can look at the picture of the guys on the roof. That's the rifle they were using. That motherfucker is dialed in. I guarantee. Well, they're going to hit something 5 feet away. It's dialed into like 400 or 500 yards that they can, and it's a.
Here's the rifle. Here's the rifle that Coffee
bring up the picture of the guys on the roof. You'll see it's the exact fucking same rifle.
Coffee. You told the story half of the story during
dinner. The one where the guys are on the roof, right there. That's
those guys.
The same exact rifle.
So you told your story during dinner, and when you get excited during the show, you finish about 80% of your sentences.
Right.
So you don't finish all of them.
Which part did you want? That's a 300 Winchester Magnum, chamber bolt action rifle.
Gun.
That fucker is
a gorgeous gun.
Those snipers who they can tack a fucking mosquito's balls from 500 easy. They're not looking at 100 yards out.
Your deployment, I wanted to know, your deployment to cover a Reagan event included you being on top of the wing of a plane?
No, on the hangar, 60 feet up at the
top
nose.
of a hangar?
That was on top of the hangar.
Okay.
His plane was here. The 3 manhole covers off into the grass is what I had.
Okay.
These guys had long-range kill shots out there. There was another sniper team this way, and they were assigned sectors.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you notice that guy, he's got a spotter that's helping him. And they would be like, all right, sector 2 or whatever. But they're looking, that is not for fucking 100 yards out, man.
Exactly.
Oh, no, that's,
Look at that is the same.
So
and I looked it up.
the second guy behind him is on another.
Well, no, that's the thing.
Another rifle, but he's also got a spotter.
No, they don't have a spotter. That's what I heard. Is their spotters were pulled.
Okay, but at the same time, though,
White House
that
reduced.
All right, you got two there and two over there, so you got four.
Did you hear that?
sections.
Did you hear that?
That
Tim heard.
I
that
heard
their
the White House reduced their sniper spotter support.
All right, but still,
And
let's
they
go
said-
back to the sectors. See, like this, and there's Trump.
Yeah.
These guys got these sectors, and
couldn't
these
cover
two
it all.
got this sector. They're not looking for.
Kamala
100
and
fucking-
Jill were both speaking in PA
Yeah, listen,
on the same day. They
Yeah,
sent
Jill,
his
to
agents
Jill.
to Jill,
Yeah,
and they
Jill.
gave him secondary agents.
Justification to pull
Yes,
resources.
The person
Yes.
at the top
Right.
that Jill put in place. I'm sorry, that Biden's put in place.
Right.
The person at the top worked for
I get, yeah.
a very major corporation that owns everything.
BlackRock.
Just say it, BlackRock.
Just say
Why aren't you?
BlackRock.
Yeah,
Say
why are you saying
BlackRock.
But
Just
because
say
I don't
it.
want to be targeted, okay. That's a
Yeah,
very.
that's
What are you gonna do,
They just
poison
tried
your
to
hair?
shoot freaking Donald
Poison your
Trump.
hair color.
What are you
You're
gonna
gonna
do?
do that.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Those are
You know what I'm
very, very long range rifles
They
right
are.
there. And
And-
there should be no fucking.
Well, one thing's
there
for
should be
sure.
no roof that
One
didn't have a
thing's-
Boy Scout sitting up there going. I'm sitting up here now. It's insane.
I heard an Army
It's
Ranger.
insane.
I heard an Army Ranger today. He said, "I can train your daughter in 10 minutes,
True.
a 10-year-old daughter in 10 minutes, to hit something at that
Yeah, okay.
that."
Now,
With an AR,
He
right?
was not. He was. Yeah. He was not. That was not a hard shot.
Well,
No,
I can go
it
back
was
to the
not.
map. I can go back
And
to
he
the map.
practiced. He was.
It was
He
not-
was
and
actually.
practiced.
He practiced.
He tried out for the rifle team in high
They-
school.
they
and
were
they,
de- they denied
rejected
it.
him.
They
said,
rejected-
They
denied
said,
him,
"Dude,
yeah.
you suck. You can't hit the brown
Okay,
out of a
okay.
barn."
I'm gonna go back to the map.
Go back to
Yeah.
the map. Go back to the
He-
map.
Okay, so
listen,
here he
was
is. No, listen.
390 feet away. 390 feet. That's 130 yards.
So here's
Thank God he missed.
here's the
Thank
imagery.
God.
Here's the imagery
Yeah.
of the building he climbed. That roof, door 12. There was a ladder against a building that was a causeway to the backside of another building. That was a very slight sloped roof. That's not even like
No.
5% slope.
Correct.
Very slope. It's not even 5 or 6%. Okay, so this is the
I
guy
gotta
that was
go,
seeing
guys.
everyone.
Let me read this real quick, Tim. This is
Get to the map.
the head director or whatever they call her, the
Okay.
Secret Service. Said the Secret Service was aware of the security vulnerabilities presented by the
Sure.
building crooks took a sniper's position on to aim at Trump. However, a decision was made not to place any personnel on that roof. That building in particular has a sloped roof at its highest point, and so there's a safety factor that would be considered that we weren't want to put somebody up on a sloped roof. And so the decision was made to secure the building from the inside. I'm
Yes.
sorry, I
Yes.
go back 42 years. That doesn't fucking work.
No, okay. So the highest building in the area was the white roofed building that was right behind Trump. So
There should be no building.
yeah, no, but the problem being is because they were short staffed and they didn't have the people, the ones that they had inside. You're true. It's true. I did hear that there was. Wait, am I missing overhead shots? Oh, dude, guys, I have overhead.
Larry's got to go. We're already past 11.
Yeah.
He's got to drive truck in the
No,
morning.
there's no excuse, man. It doesn't matter if you're.
They're not excuses. They're
only explanations.
No, I'm just saying you
Facts.
could bring in all the Boy Scouts and cops or whatever to fill positions behind buildings.
Wouldn't, shouldn't, couldn't.
Didn't believe
This is
it.
a
This
fun
is insane.
off the rails show.
Dude, this show went off the rails. I did not
Insane.
throw a Disaronno
No.
bottle, so
No.
it's all good.
It
but
didn't happen because there were
It's-
forces in
Can I
place
use
that
2 pens?
didn't want it to happen.
Please.
That video that I sent you, did you watch it?
Oh, Pat's still here.
Which one?
The one of the guy was a Secret Service agent, is retired.
Do I have
Yes.
an overhead shot?
Yes, I did.
Where's my
You should
I
have
overhead?
want to
overhead.
see that.
What's
Do I
that?
have an overhead?
Double the
This
Kelly,
is
double
just,
the
it's
fun.
insane.
Double the
Patrick.
Kelly,
There's
double the
no
fun.
explaining it.
Show it to Coffee anyway. I mean, you can't play it here. At least let him watch it.
Share it with
Yeah.
me so I can see it.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
I
lost my
think I
key.
got it.
Oh, it's 11:11. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 11:11. Which one was that one? Right?
Can't get the overhead.
Was
to
that
work.
one? I had problems with a couple of these, Patrick.
His face was up there just a minute ago.
It's just it doesn't make it has
No, it's probably that one there.
Yeah, that wasn't. I didn't.
No, next
Kelly,
one, next
explain
one
to me how you secure
Right
the
there,
roof
try that one.
from the inside.
You can't. You can't.
We decided
How they
to
blocked it.
secure it
I
from the
have a
inside.
side by side of the 30
It doesn't
minutes
fucking matter.
where they were calling out the guy on the roof while Trump was talking.
Was
overlay.
it 30 minutes?
It was 30 minutes.
It was not 30 minutes.
Did you see the one with
the new report coming forward?
It was 30
is
minutes.
30 minutes. They have 30 minutes of
From the moment
footage.
he hit the ladder?
From the moment he
Yep.
hit the ladder, they have now revealed
Rooftop.
that there are 30 minutes
They have
of
the
him
overlay of talking.
going up the ladder, coming across, and being there for over 30 minutes.
But Trump
Tomorrow
shot
I'm
like
gonna look up how
literally
many-
less than 6 minutes into his speech.
Correct. He was moving into position far before the speech began while other people were in position.
How many
I
deputy
just
sheriffs
heard
in
it
that
this
town?
afternoon.
How many state patrollers?
That's why
there?
we're
How
talking
many
about
local
Tuesday
towns
night
would
updates and
give you 2 or
revelations.
3 officers?
Updates and
There should be.
No
Where's infrared come in? You can use that during the
Drones!
daytime.
Where's
Where's the
the
drone?
drones?
Somebody said
Bongino was saying, "Where's the infrared? Where's the drones? Where's the aerial footage of any kind?" He's like, "I can go down to fucking
No
Best
shit.
Buy and buy
Covering-
a
no,
drone
no,
for
no.
Our
400
high
bucks."
school uses drones to record football
You know what they
freaking
s-
games.
Irrelevant. They were covering the first lady, or they were
Or it
not,
was a setup.
Or Camel at toe.
No, it's just the fact that dude, there's so much shit that has to be done to make this show happen. I don't have the personnel to do it. So
I know.
it's just not done.
Exactly.
So if they don't designate the personnel for Trump
So
to
then
have
we-
it as resource, it's just not done.
So then we default to
No, it's that.
negligence versus intention.
Yeah.
just lost
But I
rumble.
do believe there's still intention, and that's
you're
what's coming
correct.
forth.
It is negligent by intent.
Yeah.
Yep.
True. For this, I don't know if you guys saw this. We'll end the show with a couple of these real quick. Trump campaign sues.
Not up.
Trump campaign sues Michigan Governor Shitmer for new voter over new voter registration sites.
What's wrong with the new voter registration?
They're trying to turn anywhere that they can sign people up into voter registration. So they're trying to use VA and Small Business Administration offices
versus the
as voter registration agencies
versus the clerk
versus the Secretary of State.
Right now, it's the Secretary of State.
It's only the Secretary of State. So what they're doing is they're getting veterans, which we know are committing suicide in the upward 70s per day, to sign up to vote. And once they get that signature, whether they vote or not, I mean, who's voting for Biden? It's people like him that are brain dead. So we want to note that.
He should be suing her for spending our tax dollars on promoting. Well, no, there's a lot there.
Yeah, there's a lot
There's
there.
a lot there.
And one of I was going to cover General Flynn breakdown of the cannon. So the other big news, I think we touched on Sunday, but they dismissed the case, the documents case against Trump, where they raided Mar-a-Lago.
Oh yeah.
And the FBI was given authorization to shoot to kill.
Oh right.
They have completely dismissed that case. Judge Cannon completely dismissed that case.
Really?
Because
It violated.
not only did it violate, the whole dismissal is predicated on the fact that the fucking prosecutor was never properly constitutionally put in.
Right.
Yep.
Therefore, everything he did was illegal.
Yep. And it's not his name.
Smith. What-
And it's not his.
It's
full-
not.
It's
It's
not
not
his
his
real
true
name.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
You're saying Smith is a fake name?
Yes.
Smith is his fake name.
Well, that tracks.
That tracks very well.
That's not. And he signed official documents. That's
With us.
forgery.
Oh, it's
With
forgery, and he
Smith?
needs to be arrested.
Yeah.
There it is.
So
You're gonna be shitting me. I didn't hear that.
100% real.
Oh fucking shit.
That's the one I was telling you about.
was this it?
Did you hear that?
Cat
That's
turd
it.
one?
That's it. Hey, right
Let me
there.
click on it. Let me click on it.
Turn
Our
on.
local
Oh, shit, I just
agency
took off my
or police
period.
force.
I don't want to play the whole thing
My name
because
is
time is fading.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm here to tell you why the shooting of President Donald Trump yesterday, without a doubt in my mind,
They played
was
this
a
on X,
planned
or I'm
and
done.
coordinated attack on the president inside our government, our local agency, or police force.
They played this on
Here's
InfoWars.
why. My name is Matthew Murphy, and I am a retired Green Beret, retired from the Special Forces Group, but I'm also a level 1 sniper. which means that I have graduated the highest level
thing's
of
only like 2
training for
minutes.
snipers that you can do in special operations.
This
We're
was
trained on to
359.
avoid
58.
confidential or classified terminology. We're trained in assassinations and counter assassinations for the very reason, case in point, yesterday, the shooting of President Donald Trump. So, first of all, anywhere the president's going to go, there are teams from the Secret Service that go out days, if not weeks, if not months, before the president will ever be at that spot. And they do a site security assessment. And they do that with the local police forces and agencies to ensure that every potential security threat or vulnerability is secured and, of course, protected against. Now, this is done way before Donald Trump will ever get there, and they know every place that the president will be. And the sniper team especially is responsible for ensuring that no one can take a shot at the president. Now, that does not mean that the sniper team just sets up with their guns and scans the crowd and shoots. No, what they do, the most important thing they do pre-Donald Trump showing up, is within a 360-degree environment of that podium of the president, they ensure that there is not a place that is open that will be accessible by someone with a rifle to take a shot at the president.
Right.
So they make sure those places are barricaded off, inaccessible, and heavily guarded. So there is no way you are going to get to the place where you could even shoot the president with a rifle before the president shows up. Then they scan the crowd and those places of the rifle just in case by some miracle you do. Now, you're not going to tell me, I don't care who you are, don't listen to the media, nonsense anyways. I think most of us know that by now, that some 20-year-old kid that looks like he played Dungeons and Dragons in his mom's basement is trained on a gun.
Mom's basement
is a registered Republican, and then can access anywhere near the vicinity of that crowd, of that event, with him not dressed in a uniform and that sniper rifle. He was wearing American flag t-shirt and pants, and he had a rifle. You're going to tell me that that kid went through all this levels of security, somehow got into the closest building to the president, then accessed the rooftop of the closest building to the president, then had the time to unpack his rifle, lay down in the prone, and then take 5 to 8 well-aimed shots at the president before he was decisively engaged by the Secret Service's counter sniper teams or a local police department. I don't know who they were. Most likely police. You're going to tell me all that happened and a 20-year-old kid did that without it being heavily planned, coordinated, and people on the inside making it happen? There's absolutely no way possible that that kid was able to get up there and take those shots at the president without a lot of internal help. So someone in that local or some people inside that local police department, agencies, or Secret Service is compromised and is a threat to our president. So we need to stop worrying about that damn shooter and start worrying about who allowed this shit to happen. And President Trump, if you need an American to protect you who's actually good at sniping and stopping this crap, give me a call. I'll do it for free. Everybody have a good day. God bless.
God bless. That's it.
I love that shit.
You know, I loved his premise, but what really, really, really annoyed me is he exaggerated all the little details.
Like what?
But everything he said about went in, accessed the building, went into the building, and then got on the roof, and then got up there, unpacked his rifle, got prone. His rifle was already unpacked.
Right.
There's all these little details just annoyed me, and the fact that he went on the building from the exterior, he didn't even have to go inside.
He didn't have to go inside.
So the fact that I respected this guy and I used him in another production. But the fact that the little nuances that he could have done some fucking research first and looked at what actually happened, and it would have sounded more credible.
Well, given the time frame that he says,
he
just says a few hours ago or yesterday, he didn't have all the information. So I'll give him that. But I agree with you. I agree with you, but I'll give him a caveat. Hey, thank you guys all for tuning in. Any final things in fucked up chat tonight?
No.
Dude, John Bovey's about to get banned for using all caps if he doesn't shut up.
John Bovey? Well, the last one's not all caps.
I know. He
Research
came
is
back
for
down.
nerds.
I was gonna if I would have seen another third line,
he needs to calm
all
down.
caps, he would have been gone.
Hey, I appreciate everybody out there. Thank you for tuning in the show. Please listen to me. If you're going to tune into the show, then you have to be humble enough to understand that we're having a conversation. We're not trying to save the world every fucking night that we get on the show.
Right.
We're having conversations. We're talking things out. That means you're going to disagree. When you act like an asshole, then I'm not putting up with it.
Right.
No matter who you are. There is an honor and a level of respect that you have when you talk to people one-on-one that you can't do behind. If you're going to be in the chat, I love you. But don't be a keyboard warrior who disrespects the conversation and the guest that's going on while it's going on.
You can disrespect Larry.
Because that's not the time or place to do that. Disagree? Say, hey, I disagree. That's honorable. But don't fucking do that on my show. My show is about having a conversation. And I don't always agree with everybody. But you know what? I have enough humility to not always expose them on the show. And I could go through the whole fucking thing about scriptural principles of how you don't expose your brother's nakedness, of how you don't Jesus said, a bruised reed and a smoldering wick I will not snuff out. There's a whole bunch of dynamics. They're talking about what it means to be honorable when you're having a conversation in public versus a conversation in private. It's one thing to be in private. The wounds of a friend can be trusted. If I'm going to slap you upside your fucking face because I disagree with you, I'm going to do it one-on-one. But in public, I will defend you to everybody else. Even though when we get out of public, I might tell you you're fucking wrong and slap you. That's called honor. That's what Christ did. It says that he bore the, what's it say? The insults of those who insult you have fallen upon me. Christ said, I will take the insults, however valid, however reasonable they are, of people insulting you, I will take them. If you're not willing to take the insults and then talk to people one-on-one, I'm going to have a problem with you in chat. If you can be honorable in chat and realize that not everybody here on my show is going to say something that you agree with 100%, 10%, doesn't fucking matter. Be honorable, operate that way, we'll be fine. We can hash these things out in private, but this is a public forum on my show. Honor it. Love you guys. I'll catch you guys next time. We may pop in with something during the week or maybe back on Sunday. We got some guests coming in. Love you guys. We'll catch you later. My pen died. We'll see you next time.
For those of you who are still with us and you would like to potentially maybe, I don't know, support the show. Sorry, I have a piece of saltwater taffy in my mouth. And the close was kind of thrown at me without really expecting it. Wasn't sure how long Jeremy was going to talk before he actually finished. There should be, let's see, I have some QR codes that we can look at. Those are, you know what? Fuck it. Have a good night, guys. And of course, the close doesn't play. Why would the close play when I want it to? Of course it wouldn't, because the power went out twice here since we last had a show because of the storms. And none of the media in OBS wants to work. There we go. Have a good night, guys.
This is my brain.
Dad, that's an egg.
Yeah, that's an egg.
Honey,
Dude.
that's an egg.
Seriously.
That's an egg.
It's a metaphor.
It's still an egg.
That's an egg.
I would challenge you.
That's an egg.
I know my brain is not actually an egg, okay? It's a metaphor.
Metaphor or not, that's not your brain.
It's just an egg.
Oh
Una cerveza para mí. My egg is my brain.
Can I at least have some bacon, maybe some sausage with that egg, though?
Oh, I want some bacon.
I want crepes.
Have some bacon and pancakes with that egg.
I'll take it with cheese.
Extra large brown cage-free eggs.
Can I have your brain with hot cakes?
A little sausage and a little toast and potato.
That would be great.
Does it have antibiotics?
I don't know, man. I'm not good at this shit.
Well, they got to be able to resist some diseases.
You resist the disease.
Has it got any hormones?
Maybe. It's cage free.
Vegetarian?
Maybe.
Are they vegan?
No, I eat steak.
Never apologize and never explain.
Never apologize.
Never apologize and never explain.